What up, my freaks? Ruinous Man-Thing here with part 5 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Throt the Unclean Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, Kislev struck back with fighting 3 out of 4 of their lords, Tsarina Katrin, Boris Ursus, and Mother Astankia. The latter in a massive 2.5 to 3 stack fight at her capital, Tsarina Katrin, down south as she sneakily attempted to attack Ivegka, and then Boris Ursus as he bypassed all of this. He went from here, bypassing this ruin, bypassing the territory of the Bone Rattlers, who he is at war with, incidentally, and then going for us instead. And yes, I'm still salty about it, but what can you do? Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time around, we're looking to wipe Mother Astankia's faction out for good, and then head probably towards the Bloody Sword, who are not super fond of us. Our gambit with the Goromadni tribe has unfortunately failed, in the sense that they got confederated, or they rather confederated the Ersfjordlings, I believe was the faction name, so we're probably going to have to at some point still deal with them. Yeah, we peaced out with them, but they hate us so much that they will inevitably redeclare war on us. I suppose that if we have to move towards Krakadrak anyway, we are here, and Krakar Ravensvok, whatever, the two dwarfen factions, we might want to do it through the territory of the Goromadni tribe. Though originally I wasn't intending on taking this, because it's a lot more exposed than the territories here. It's very hard to reach Helpit for anybody that doesn't have underway stance, but I digress. Let's see what we got to do in this particular turn. Oh, it's nothing, isn't it? Alright, well, if it's nothing, other than potentially moving Traer, but I guess if there are more armies coming from Boris Ursus, which admittedly is a distinct possibility, we should probably keep him there. We could probably get a few more Skaven slaves. Do we have any more frontline rats available to us? No. Alright, if we get another frontline rat available, then we'll get another Skaven slave army up and running. We will want to get an encased warp engines guy up and running as well for an army. What's the standard armor on... Let me just see here, where are the warp fire throwers? We got 100 armor on the warp fire throwers, so the stand armor probably wouldn't be too much on them in particular. Although the bonus armor on unit mass on one of these guys would make you a really good driver for a doom wheel, wouldn't it? And certainly something to think about. It's a little bit ironic because the other buff, the one that buffs the whatchamacallums, the doom flayers, would then be better for the army of the Doom Wheel Rider. But anyway, we'll figure it out as we go. For now, let's end the turn and proceed. We'd have a little bit of cash. I'm wondering, you know what? Let's invest in our Undercities. We got to keep spreading them out. So we'll do this. We'll go for the Subterranean Pit here and Subterranean Pit here. We can always get our money back later on, but there's a lot of really good abilities, buildings in the Undercities, and we want to have our Under Empire grow while we're fighting for our sort of over Empire. I mean, again, technically all of these are Undercities. It's just that, you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna assume that you do, because I don't. End turn. Hey, the enemy failed to spot our ambush. We're obviously not going to fight that. Hopefully Throt doesn't get too badly damaged. There are 2 Frostworms, which are extremely scary units in SFO. I love them to death. And death they shall have, auto-resolve. And we'll take we could heal up nearly to full, but we need every chunk of change we can get to grow our burgeoning economy now, so sell off. Alright, Valkia is indeed approaching Carrick of Vlag, though, I wonder if this army is close enough to reinforce us. That would be quite helpful if it was. I do wonder whether we can actually reach Gulrock's lair before she does. I really don't want to compete for the territory up here, because, I mean, like I said, if we do, we'd have to kill her. Honestly, if we didn't have the trade agreement up right now, I'd have our 2 armies attack Valkia's 2 march-dancing armies. Well, while betrayal is the order of the day for Skaven, we can't do that right now. And how dare you? He besieged Kirkronid. Well, you're gonna suffer for that one, even with your 2 Wolfheart Sakshina ambushers, which are again fantastic units. Confederation, the Great Orthodoxy and Boyar Assembly, and Reichland Karoberg. They waited a while to do that one. Alabegan Zappos Construction of Creepus, Ironskin Zwa Fails, Technology Research. There we go. Upkeep production in own territory. Okay, that explains why we went from 1,000 gold per turn to 3,000-ish per turn. Really nice. Growth vat. Wait. We are past the Mutant Rat Ogre cluster. Alright, so I guess we're gonna pop it off right now. Slanesh giggle. And let's do this. Claim growth vat monsters. Like so, giving us a rat ogre, a couple of Skaven slaves, or some Skaven slaves and rat ogres. Surprisingly, no, huh. Okay, so neither the rat ogre tree, or a tree, you know what I mean. The... whatever you call this, node. Let's go with node. Neither the rat ogre nor the mutant rat ogre node nor the helped abomination node give you any wolf rats, which is a little bit disappointing because you'd think that they'd be a little bit more critical to Moulder. I feel like you should get at least a couple of wolf rats with every single node, you know what I mean? We seem to get rat ogres with every single node, but not wolf rats, which is a little bit strange. Not a huge deal, of course, but nonetheless. Anyway, let's do some stuff. So first of all, we are still waiting on the next bit of rat force, which we will most likely go for the food capacity. We certainly need that. Well, frankly, there's a bunch of really good stuff in here. There's also this, but we have to go through Flesh Lab expansion mandate, which is, again, really nice because of the casualty or punishment rate and incoming healing modifier, but it will take a while to get to it. Here, I believe, per suggestions, we were going to go through to monstrous abominations, and I guess that's still the case. I don't dislike these scavenging runs. But we've been doing pretty okay without buffing individual units so far, and I think we're just going to live with it, at least for now. Anyway. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Please don't tell me you're gonna take this before Throt can reach it. You are, aren't you? You little jerkface. Again, the competing. Yeah, we're gonna have to confederate these guys, aren't we? Well, okay, we'll see. Throt, I'm still gonna have you jump close to it, but not to it directly, like here. Let's say. You don't need to heal anymore, so you're gonna go here. Maybe this guy will sack it or give up. He won't, though. And of course, he could go for Deghov, who they're at war with, but rather than that, he'd rather be opportunistic. This is exactly what I was talking about with the AI being an annoying ally. Useless, but annoying. Anyway, Krakronid, you're gonna do this. Let's go after Bogdan Lebedenko. Ooh, wait, we got a few points available. So, Assassin 1. Yeah, let's finally get replenished troops maxed out. It wouldn't have helped here, but I just want to get it up. Slanesh giggle. You're gonna go for Sapper, and we'll go for extra powder next. And I believe we're good to go. Oh, still need that Eshin Sorcerer. I think, though, we don't yet have the... yeah, we don't have the building. Okay. We'll get the Eshin Sorcerer as soon as we can. Go. And they're not going to run. Really? Okay, good luck. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Our sneaky assassins, as usual, deployed on one side of the enemy army, and as usual, we make take as much advantage from the terrain as we possibly can. Big old rock or cliffside in the center of the map, and there's some woods to protect us from any enemy fast movers. Not that they have any other than single entities in this fight, but still a way to slow enemies down. We immediately obliterate a unit of Kislevite warriors with shuriken and slingers, and the next unit of Kislevite warriors is on the way out as well. Alright, too bad we don't have that Eshin Sorcerer to provide warp stars for us, but eventually we will. I wonder if the Eshin Sorcerer gives any additional ammunition. I'll build the building soon, guys, don't worry. We need to... we're working on our economy. There's usually sort of two or three episodes in the early game where we need to build up economy as much as possible before we proceed back to re-recruiting new units. Anyway, for now, another unit of Kislevite warriors gets obliterated, but the enemy's main line starts heading towards us, including the enemy lord, who takes a big old volley and loses 80% of his HP to a shuriken spam. There's only so many shurikens to the face that, or to the back of the head that you can take, and down he goes on cue. I'm always happy when that actually happens. Otherwise, more enemies are moving their way towards us and melting away as they do. If you're wondering why there aren't as many as you might think, we summoned a unit of clan rats here to separate the enemy army. I think this is actually the second summoned unit of clan rats to do this. And then here we have our doppelganger unit of Ixis Triads, which is separating this portion of the enemy army while we continue to work on these guys, including, by the looks of it, all their single entities. Our shuriken chuckers are already out of ammunition, unfortunately. We're kind of used to that, I'll admit, but damn do they run out fast. but they're a lot better in melee than the other units. Anyway, the shurikens will again bring down another enemy patriarch, or another enemy lord/hero, single entity, and the two little assassins will scurry forward to go after the other one, while our lord goes after the last one. There we go. They may have those war bears, which I'm sure terrifies the knight and gutter runners, but they're not so terrifying that the brood horrors aren't more terrifying. There we go. Alright, and together with the brood horrors, which make sure that we can chase down any enemy units as needed, we bring down the third and final of the enemy patriarchs, leaving the enemy with no single entities. Out here, the enemies have been pretty much destroyed, and now we will work towards the quarter of the enemy army that we have separated here, a little bit more than a quarter, in fact. Very nice. This tactic worked out really nicely for us. As we can see, our losses have thus far been minimal, even with the expenditure of the ammunition. Alright, tactically there isn't much to say, we're just repositioning right now while our doppelganger and our summoned units are fighting. Our doppelgangers, the doppelgangers can't kill things, can they? I'm pretty sure that they don't deal damage, they're just a distraction. Yeah, 0 kills. But it would be kind of obnoxious if a random unit without magic could summon a bunch of fake rats that could kill a bunch of enemies. Alrighty. Not that that's important right now. Anyway, we have more summoned clan rats that have arrived over at the back of the enemy line, and our other gutter runners are now closing the distance, together with the brood horrors, which have led the charge thanks to their pretty darn impressive speed. Alright. And it looks like with the Akshina ambushers and the range units getting charged, the enemy realizes that they have no hope whatsoever. And with that, the battle is ours. Perfection. We'll chase the enemy down and we should be able to destroy them down to a man. A man thing. Alright, there we go. The Assassin or the Eshin army absolutely tore the enemy apart, and unsurprisingly perhaps, as the Eshin units are fairly scary, where the Night Runners and Gutter Runners in particular are fairly scary. They do give the rats the option of essentially acting as a sort of archer-like army with the slingers. It's obviously more effective under Clan Eshin itself, but just generally speaking, quite effective. Their main issue is that it is very weight of fire reliant if you want to do this sort of thing, in that the more non-Eshin units that you have in the army, the less effective this type of composition becomes. And then you have to do the whole, you know, sort of assassin-y, sneaky type variant of this, where you attack the enemy from multiple sides, etc., rather than relying on them as ranged units. Gotta be careful with that one. Anyway, we did pretty well. The Brood Horrors hovering around 8,000 damage. Most damage, Gutter Runners, 16,000, 24,000, 27,000. Yeah, we're definitely going to need more Gutter Runner names and Clan Rat names. Nobody wants to name Clan Rats. Anyway, we've got a few, but need more because there's going to be a lot of Clan Rats. 24,000. I'm just comparing the Slingers versus the Shuriken here. They're honestly doing about on par with each other, which is always interesting to see considering their difference. Anyway, sell off. Alright, enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle. Kidnapper for Crocronade, an appropriate trait for these guys. And what do we have here? Alright, so... I don't want these guys to actually... Wait, Gloomfang is at war with Borodin Coven. Oh, Borodin Coven doesn't like us that much anymore, do they? That's kind of interesting. Frankly, I would have preferred to have been allied with the Vamps rather than the Orcs. They can't trade and they don't do too much for us, but, well, one Orky ally in case we want spiders or something. They can work in the underway after all. Anyway. Oh, we've got the Golden Knight here. That's going to be an interesting one. But anyway, I guess, Crocronid, you're going to move towards Janica for now. And... okay, wait, let's just see here. A valiant defeat. Oh, Mordheim Beowulfs. Yeah, with the AI's ability to constantly pump out regiments of renown, the Serena Katrin really does get a strong power-up because of that doubling up that SFO gives her, which is really great. I really like that one. Anyway, we're gonna need more public order everywhere and at all times, so Volksgrad, that's you, and ooh, nearly complete on the Slaughter Factory. Again, the name amuses me tremendously. Evegka, you're kind of still bordering potential enemies, but... will this be enough to defend you in a minor summit? I mean, it's still really reliant on clan rats, which are pathetically weak. But I don't really want to expend 3.6k on this right now. It's a little bit much, so maybe we'll wait. Skittis and Thankful, wait a bit. Tech Thief. Well, you're just going to have to steal from these guys. They're not going to be happy, but it is what it is. Gonna make it less likely that they actually get into a trade agreement with us, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And... okay. Failure is not great either. Non-aggression pact. Are you willing to non-aggress with us if we join? Okay, we already did join. Alright, you know what? Let's take a look at Diplo. I want to see the other Chaos Dwarfs. And just generally if anybody wants to trade. Okay, no dice. Legion of the Gorkrin. I'm gonna ignore this for now. Same with Red Eye. Clan Creepus we don't care about. I don't care if they die. I'm going to keep an eye on Clan Gritus, though, because, you know, they are close in proximity to us. Though it would be a shame to lose the trade agreements. Regular diplomacy, non-quick deal, Chaos Dwarfs. You are currently at war with Grimgor, Zard Boys, and Laborers of Jar. Again, I'd really prefer to ally with the Chaos Dwarfs rather than the Greenskins. And if we declare war on Grimgor, it's still not enough. Alright, well, I guess we're just going to have to ignore it for now. I'd really like some fire glaives and stuff. And skullcrackers. Absolutely skullcrackers. I feel like the Skaven would promptly build something like a skullcracker if they had it. But anyway. But obviously made it better. Or more destructive. Let's see. Carrick Vlag. Now, we want to attack this guy. You are currently at war with Legion of the Gore Queen. They're basically the only ones we can ask. So we will join your war against them. And you will give us basically no money. We could do the other agreements. Keep them friendlier with us. It really does depend on whether they take Galrock's lair. Orson does have a full stack here as well. But I'm willing to bet that he will ignore the Legion of the Gore Queen in favor of going for us instead, won't he? Well, nonetheless, we'll do the non-aggression and the military access for now. But... you know, betrayal. Propose offer. Then, Banquo, you were promised some stuff. And, oh wow, this guy. Passive ability, wait, I just want to see what this says. Explosive instability. Powerful explosion causes damage to self. Yeah, this one's, I mean, it's got a lot of stuff on it, but it's basically useless now. And it's got that regular instability that's going to, you know, destroy it anyway. So, you're going to be disbanded. The other thing I would like to do is take a look at some of these guys that have a minus 50 future augment cost. So, you, for example. You are going to get, I don't know, enhanced muscle fiber for 12. The next one will also be 12, so you still have the 50%. So you can then have mind control. I don't really care which ones. And... okay, now it's 50. Okay, so next one. You. At 12, you can have... bone elongation. Laneshi giggle. You can have accelerated mitosis. And still 12, spider senses. I'm just trying to unlock every single one. And while they're cheap, so if you're wondering. Feral rage, annoying, but whatever. Go for it. And still 12. Wait, have we gotten this one? No. Hideous disfigurement. I'm still looking good. Alright, 12. And we're nearly out. And 100. Alright, you can still have this. Oh, it's at 25 now. Oh, so the rare ones are expensive. Alright, fine. Then get this one. Imperfection removal. Oh, that means you'll basically die. Because of the casualty or punishment rate reduction. Yeah, but that's fine. You're all temporary. There we go, and then we just have to unlock these at 25 apiece next time we get some growth juice going. Alright, the next thing that we want to do is this. Wait, are you able to get these guys in enemy territory? It looks like you are. So, Thankful, I'd like you to besiege Carrick Vlag. Yes. Then, I would like... Wait. Then I would like you to... Get us... wait. Delete these guys. The heavily damaged and overly mutated ones. Disband. Then you can take from Thankful... And, oh, wait, if we take from Thankful, that will kill your movement range. I wanted to move as far as we can towards Galrock's lair. Yeah. Which actually isn't that far, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so to do that, then we should get rid of some of these guys, which is a bit of a shame. You know what? Get rid of these slingers. Let's do this. Disband these. And I guess it was pointless to delete those. Then, Thankful, you're going to have Bone Ripper, which is going to be a mutated Rat Ogre. And let's pop a couple of regular Rat Ogres in his army as well. I don't know if we're going to keep him in here, but again, this is a Moulder campaign, and every army must by virtue of it, have at least some monsters in it. And you're also going to need a Packmaster and a Plague Guy. Oh, Plague Guy? Let's see what we have available. Okay, no Packmasters this time. Ah, we got another Scab Discard. Perfect. That's the best one by far. Let's go for you. Yeah, good lord, you cost 2,000 gold to get now? Okay, it's expensive, but it is what it is. We need you mostly as a Vermintide. Obviously, Thankful himself can use magics, but, well, Vermintide is much necessary. Alright, then you... Wait, go back into regular stance for this. Then I would like Mr. Thankful to go here. Decisive victory, casualties, medium. Well, anybody dies, or any point to this? I mean, we have the other army. We could... That's a question. Maybe we should actually fight this and allow the Cornates to kill themselves up on the walls. This would reduce their capabilities here. Probably, however, not enough to allow for Galrock's lair. I suppose if we then take Correct Peak, we could trade it to them? Nah, I don't like that either. Where's Bloody Spires, incidentally? Is it down here? Oh, huh. That's kind of curious. Bloody Spires, Galrock's lair... Alright, yeah, fine. I think it's a Skavenly thing to do, so we're going to attack, and we're going to let the Cornates do a little bit of the work while we... well, we'll still bombard the enemy. Anyway, go.
Good, now kill!
Alrighty, here we go. Not technically in the underway, but sort of an entrance to it, I guess, here in the mountains, as it is a dwarven settlement held by Khorne. Frankly, it's a really cool looking map, and nice to get a, I don't know, Doom Sphere to knock a few of these giant stalactites loose and smashing down into the enemy settlement below. Feels like an appropriate Skavenly strategy, but anyway, we're going to start the battle off waiting for the foolish reinforcements of the Cornates as we can send them in to do a little bit of work for us. In the meantime, we're going to open the way for them by knocking out the enemy towers and the enemy gate so that they can move into the settlement. Now, of course, our allies will charge headfirst into the fray with some Furies who are going to land on the enemy walls and start working on the Bloodletters. Kind of an interesting matchup. They're both fairly fragile, but Furies are very good at dishing out damage quickly while they die, and I'm sure they will, but probably worth it to sacrifice a unit of Furies to significantly damage some Bloodletters. Here also comes an enemy Manticore, sending a fair few of those Bloodletters flying off the walls, who, interestingly, get up. Huh. I thought that any enemy unit that is knocked off a wall is instantly killed, but apparently not the case. Huh, maybe it's only enemy units knocked off the wall that go out of the city and not into the city? It's a little bit surprising. It also may be... wonder if it's a trait that's unique to demonic units, because you wouldn't expect a demon to just die from a small fall like this. I mean, granted, it's not that small of a fall. I don't know how many stories this is, but I don't know, 10 bloodletter lengths or so? Bloodletter heights? Huh, those two died when they fell off. Interesting. Anyway, the Manticore is now nearly destroyed and the Furies are pretty much gone, but we are purposely here expending our allied troops. The gate has now been broken, and our allied marauders, Cornate marauders, and whatever other Cornate units they have will be heading into the enemy's city. At least I imagine so. Let's speed this up a little bit once again, and there they go. Alright, into the breach, my friends. Trolls, Marauders, and Chaos Warhounds of Khorne facing off against Bloodletters, the mortal Khornates versus the demonic. And though, of course, our Khornate friends have a little in the way of magical damage, and thus will probably be at something of a disadvantage here, especially as it looks like the enemy has blobbed up around the gate. And that said, if they want to do this, we're going to start moving forward with the rest of our army, including our avalanche mortars, which should probably get a lot of advantage out of doing this. It's too bad that we don't have any bigger spells like Cleansing Ruin or Plague available to us here, as this would be perfect to kill both our allies and the enemies. Oh, love watching those comet-like, meteor-like projectiles, I guess, from the Plague Claw catapults come down against the red Khornate skies. I've always loved the way that the Khornate corruption makes maps look, generally speaking. The red skies is just super cinematic. And menacing and all that. And while they are somewhat dark, they're not nearly as dark as the Skaven corruption makes maps, which I really don't like, because I like being able to see the glorious action. Anyway, speaking of glorious action, the units are still in the fight, though it looks like the enemy has one major ringer, a unit of skull cannons, which are absolutely going to clean house if they fire into the blob here. Which they absolutely will. I'm sure they'll hit their own units here and there, but those skulls dish out massive damage and leave burning ground in their wake. Which means our allies are in pretty bad shape. Alright, 2 of the units are nearly out. 3 of the units, in fact, are just about done for. We're still moving into position, and though I told the avalanche mortars to fire, it looks like they are refusing to do so at the edge of their range. Hopefully they can reposition themselves maybe closer, and maybe that will allow them to fire at a steeper firing angle. We'll see. And we're going to help out with a few clan rats summoned in the midst of all this. At least this way it looks like we're helping, so the Khornate forces don't turn upon us. And admittedly, we haven't lobbed too many of our shots at them as yet, though it's bound to change. Anyway, what are we doing here? Trying to fire at the wall to breach it, though with 30,000 HP, it's going to take a long time to do so, and we're starting to run out of ammunition on the Plague Claws. Speaking of the Plague Claws, we do want that Skull Cannon destroyed, so maybe we'll try to retarget it. Really surprised that the Avalanche Mortars are struggling to fire upon this. Going to try to reposition them again. Let's see if they can do so. Come on. No, see? They're refusing. They're on auto fire, but they don't want to fire at anything here. Oh well. At least so well for now. What we can tell them to do is fire on top of the walls, manually, mind you. But at least this way they'll fire. And we'll help out by dropping some Warp Lightning on the enemy, and following that up with a little bit of spell work, namely a Scorch through the lines, hitting both our allies and our enemies. And the same thing, of course, for the Avalanche Mortars. Like so. And any projectiles that miss the units on the walls will still drop down on the allies and enemies below. Granted, most of our allies at this point have been killed up, but that's kind of exactly what we wanted. Pretty sure this Chaos Feral Manticore is also stuck. Anyway, enemy units that are on top of the walls are going to have a bad day here. And a few more volleys will knock out this unit, though it looks like we're actually probably going to have to send a few of our own units into the enemy settlement ourselves. But you know, fair enough. Oh, the enemy lord is still fighting there. Ooh, very close fight against the enemy Blood Reaper. Of course, the Blood Reaper has the piles of Flesh Hounds helping, and that means it looks like the lord will break. Surprising that the Blood Reaper hasn't started to melt away, but, you know. Anyway, starting to get closer with our own units as well. It looks like the breach has by and large been cleared by the combination of range fire and our own magics, as well as the work from our allies. And oh, it looks like the Chaos Lord actually did close the distance and kill off that Blood Reaper. He is still in the fight. And we're going to help him out a little bit. Frankly, we could probably just, you know, not helped him and allowed him to die, but at the same time, I don't think it matters all that much. More Marauders are making their way forward from our allies, having rallied, but, well, I'm sure they didn't enjoy too much of the range fire from us. There we go. Hey, are we really supposed to tell apart the allied Khornates from the enemy Khornates? I don't think so. All no-furs look alike. Filthy no-furs. Anyway, let's speed this up again as we get ready to move into the enemy settlement. Ooh, I wonder what hit this. That's pretty neat. I like it. And it looks like, more of our allies have decided to make their way, rather than through the breach where we went forward, over the walls here, which is interesting, and they have, admittedly, managed to kill up a couple of units of Bloodletters. So good for them. And Bloodletters are out, and we'll see where those allied units will move. The Lord is fighting once more, just watching a lot of Khornate ally fighting, but hey, it's always nice. I do enjoy watching the Khornates go to work. Will you win against the Chaos Warhounds here? You are very low in terms of HP, but look at how little it's dropping. Without the armor piercing, 170 armor on this guy. Alright, let's help him out a little bit by launching a couple of Death Globes the enemy's way. And if a few Death Globes should hit the Chaos Lord of Khorne, that's not really our problem. Down they go. Alright. Next up, okay, well, we're going to suffer a little bit of damage from our own range fire as well, just like our allies do, but it's primarily Skaven slaves that will. Here come the Rat Ogres as well, the newly minted Rat Ogres, which we have applied to this army. Gotta make sure to rename the Mutant Rat Ogre to Bone Ripper now that we have him. Alright, and the unit of Bloodletters that was interfering with us has been stopped in its tracks. Just a little bit more work. The bounce power shifted about 90% in our favor. The Mutant Rat Ogre will head towards those darn units of Skull Cannons, though it looks like a unit of Fleshhounds will move in to help. Fleshhounds are actually pretty darn strong, and this is a fairly dangerous position for the Mutant Rat Ogre to be in. Though it is a unit that does magical damage, it is fairly fragile without support like this. And it looks like the Fleshhounds are actually blocking the Mutant Rat Ogre off, who is attempting to target the Skull Cannon, but unable to do so. That's kind of annoying. I feel like if you can't move, the unit should automatically start fighting the units around it, because you can't watch every single unit for this, but oh well. The other units had to deal with an enemy unit of Chaos Warhounds, which decided to rush our Death Globes and Poison Winds. But now we have sent them here. The regular, smaller cousins of the Mutant Rat Ogre move on in to help out against the Fleshhounds and against the Skull Cannons with a few Skaven slaves whose losses don't really matter that much. Poison Wind and Globadiers chucking their projectiles at those Skull Cannons, which are taking a pretty decent while to be brought down. But the battle is just about done. These are pretty much the last units that we need to clear, plus these Fleshhounds, which are currently being held back by the Skaven slaves, slowly but surely killing them, I'm sure, but, well, we're willing to sacrifice a decent amount of them. Plus, it's always nice to watch the animations of the infantry kills that the Fleshhounds do. I really enjoy those. Alright, just a couple more hits. I do believe the Skull Cannons have been destroyed in the background. A unit of Rat Ogres will march on in together with a few globes of the poison and death variety. And just like that, I do believe the enemy army will shatter. The fleshhounds begin melting away as they enter banishment, and we don't even technically need to deliver the final blows with the range units or the rad ogres, as they'll die or be banished while fighting those Skaven slaves. There we are. Battle's ours. We used up our allies without taking too much in the way of damage ourselves. Alright, there we go. We treated our allies nice and Skavenly as they absorbed most of the damage both from the enemy and from our own artillery. Unfortunately, a lot of them survived, so the army isn't as damaged as I would have liked it to be, but, well, it is what it is. Still feels like we did the Horned Rat's will there. Anyway, close victory. We will... I guess we'll just occupy it. We want it to be our territory, and if we raise it, we'd have to waste the movement range in order to reoccupy it, so... Yeah, but then we wouldn't be able to do the whole raise and colonize thing, but I'm 99% sure Valkia will move southward, and we're trying to make it there ahead of her. Yeah, another argument for betraying her and killing her, but I don't want to go too deep into the Darklands. I think it's a pretty good place to set up a million undercities, rather than having to conquer it ourselves, especially since we've done so in some recent campaigns, necessarily or unnecessarily, thinking back to Thorgrim right now. But anyway, I guess he'll just loot and occupy it. Sad about the loss of the additional money, but it is what it is. Loot and occupy it, tier 1. Alright, and then, yeah, it's Krez-Un that we wanted higher levels because of the gem mine. In fact, speaking of the gem mine, build that. I mean, you can still upgrade the nest layer immediately, and rubbish pit can be deleted. Yes, it can be deleted. Alright, then, Mr. Skittis, I would like you... Ooh, it's going to be dangerous. We don't know if there's another enemy army there, but I think we're going to have to risk you, sir. Go as close to Galrock's lair as possible, and if you die, you will have served the Horned Rat. Oh, we've got gold mine at Gold Spire, Bloody Spires. I called it Gold Spires. Well, we may as well. Yeah, so just stay here, get as close as you can, suffer attrition if you need to. Ooh, I see you've reached rank 13. A life as cheap is great for follower army lords with piles of Skaven slaves, which you had originally started being, but we have enough clan rats here to make you the start of a clan rat army as well. With the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers, that would be the fire army, wouldn't it? Though I do wonder whether it would be better to have a warlord lead it. I mean, if it has a decent pile of clan rats. Is the 15 armor better than the buffs provided, however, by a Grey Seer? That's the question. Like, sure, you have the Bonebreaker. Life is Cheap doesn't apply to clan rats, so we'd go for the Ravenous expansion. 15 armor versus potentially a Grey Seer on the Screaming Bell with the buffs that it provides, plus the bolstered command out of Foresight, so melee attack and defense +3/+3. Frankly, it feels like the Grey Seer might be a better commander of that type of army, but I don't know. I feel like Skittis deserves to be rewarded for his, you know, effectiveness so far. You know what? You're going to go Ravenous Expansion. We're going to give you Clan Rats. He's been around too long, and I don't want to have him command the Skaven Slave Army because he deserves to be rewarded. Anyway, Warpstone Weapon gives you magical attacks, which is why we didn't give him a magical damage-dealing item, and I'm just going to hope he doesn't get killed so that we don't lose the Bell Polisher and the Breeder. Otherwise, if you're going to be a Clan Rat leader, you're going to go for Pack Leader or start going through it. Lovely. All right. And then we'll see about taking Galrock's lair before Valkia does, and then see what she does in general. Public order here was actually relatively okay. This is from local armies and characters. Okay, I was wondering whether it would be, there would be osmosis or, adjacent provinces thing. Anyway, looks good to me. Let's see. Anything else need to be done this turn? We do have a little bit of money, so let's take a look at anything that needs to be constructed. Yes, we do want to build a tier 5 here pretty desperately, but it's crazy expensive right now. And thus I'm not so sure. Eastern Oblast looks okay. Gormani Hold looks relatively okay as well. Svedora, we deleted something here in order to build something here. What that something was, however, I am not 100% sure at this time. I guess we will want the construction cavern here. I mean, we want those everywhere. It's just that right now it's a little bit on the expensive side and thus perhaps not worth our time. Saniza, you still have that nest nursery, which I think we can replace with a Packmaster building. Pack leader, Packmaster, yeah. You will need the arcane generators and whatever other building, and we can, I guess, upgrade the giant fungi caverns for a little bit more money and a little bit more food. Hell Pit itself can't collect income because of the public order issue that remains, and High Pass is fine as it is. Navkazi, you definitely need public order, desperately. So we'll build that here. We will temporarily upgrade the nest nursery because we need the additional growth. And it looks like Jadurna will fall to the clan Gritus, which again I'm still kind of salty about. Hopefully they get themselves into a war with Orcs or somebody. Maybe even Valky. Oh. Well, we wouldn't defend them if Valky attacked them. Again, it's the Skaven way. Betrayal. Anyway, skip, including the Undercities, at least for now. And, ooh. 3 more turns until the engineer. Alright, outpost available, ignored because... I mean, we could build one with these orcs, but I don't really care about the orky units nearly as much. End turn. And, oh! I forgot about this. Well, darn. Okay, well, they're going to sally out and attack us. If we can possibly make sure that every single unit is destroyed, we can still occupy it. Okay, come on, Ruinous, don't screw this up. I think for that, we're going to invest in some Menace Below uses because they'll help us get around enemies and then trap them. It's the Kossovite archers and dervishes that mostly concern me because they can potentially escape. Go. Alrighty, here we go, and immediately we have a problem. Since the enemy army is a fairly solid one, it's going to be a dangerous fight, and I was hoping to annoy some of the enemies on this side and then make our way past the moat and go up the hill and take advantage of our massive movement speed to, you know, do the whole skirmisher infantry thing that we would like to do. Unfortunately, I believe the presence of the Golden Knight, if it's the Golden Knight that's doing this, gives feral rage to all the lords and heroes in our army. This is a major issue because the Master Assassin, Krokronid, starts at low HP and starts immediately in feral rage, rushing towards the enemy army. So we need to try to keep him from dying, and thus we have to stay where we currently are, rather than the way that we'd normally be using our clan rat summons to separate the enemy army and prevent them from attacking us all together. We're going to summon them on top of the Master Assassin in the hopes of keeping him alive and by getting a few of those meat shield rats up and running. Still, this element of the tactic that this army uses hasn't changed, and we will begin by obliterating the enemy's left flank as best we can, all the while trying to help Mr. Kronid. And yeah, would have loved to back up, but all we can do is try to hold the enemy back instead. Ooh, big old volley of the blasting charges coming in from the Kossars with Shield and Saber, with a single volley taking half of the HP off of the units, which otherwise would have backed off. And then the second volley taking a full half HP off of one of the Brood Horrors. That's kind of impressive, actually, huh? 130 missile strength on those blasting charges on the Kossars, eh? I'm surprised that it hit the Brood Horror that hard. Yeah, these things could really use a little bit more missile resistance considering they have effectively no armor. And admittedly, they do have regeneration, but still pretty dangerous. Speaking of pretty dangerous, Master Assassin has finally run out the clock on that darn feral rage that forced him into combat, but it does mean that the rest of the enemy fast movers have been able to close rather than where we would have backed off. So we're just going to have to meet them in combat. The Brood Horrors rush to fill the spots of the anchors in the line, and here come a few assassins to help out. And we're going to pop in the Ixchus Triads. And these are the real Ixchus Triads. The other Ixchus Triads are over on this side fighting somewhere to distract the enemy. A Doom Rocket comes in from our Master Engineer, but it looks like it whiffs and does not actually hit the Armored Cossars. Unfortunate there, and here's the unit of Ixchus Triads Decoy, which are keeping the Golden Knight trapped, fighting them and wasting its, or her time rather than killing off our lords. The Golden Knight has some really annoying and strong abilities, so we really don't want her facing off against our own units. Alright, it looks like we did manage to hold the enemy off all the way over on the left flank, if just barely so, killing off the Mordheim Beowulfs while taking about half damage on a couple of our Night Runners. Alright, but we are still embroiled in combat on our main line. We can see much more damage on all of our frontline rats, our shuriken rats, than we normally would have had. Damn that feral rage. But what can you do? Just going to have to deal with it now. There's no backing off, or at least no easy disengagement that we can get going here, as too many of our units are acting as frontliners here. Oh well, the bounce power, however, is still in the enemy favor as well at 55%. It looks like the decoy is pretty much done, down to a mere 20 units and will explode. But the Golden Knight has long since started moving towards us. We have activated Looming Dread on Nariska Lesa, and she is down to a mere 3, up to 15 speed. Well, it was 3 when that thing was up, but then we use almost all of our range units to focus her down. And down goes the Golden Knight in a hail of shuriken and the sling bullets. Again, I don't remember what to call the projectiles of slings. Alright, stones, but they're not really using stones. Would they still be called stones? Because I'm pretty sure the sling bullets or whatever the Knight and Gutter Runners use are metal balls, and some of them are spiky and some of them are not. Not that it's super important. Somebody please educate me. Anyway, the bounce power, now with the Golden Knight's fall, the champion of the Heist Queen's fall has bounced up to maybe 65% in our favor, though we still have a lot of work to do on this enemy army, especially with the heavy damage that all of our shuriken units have suffered, but at the same time they have expended most of their ammunition, which was the most important thing. Now they, the 3 assassins I should say, and the Brood Horrors are acting as our line anchors and distracting any enemy units they can, while our units of the slingers continue putting in the damage, and those units of the clan rats that are summoned that still remain, and those units of the gutter runners that had enough HP are moving around the enemy's flanks and hitting whatever units they can. And there we go. Though it was a tough fight, it looks like the balance of power has shifted to about 80% in our favor. A couple more units will rush on out of there, but I think the enemy doesn't have a prayer anymore. The Boyar will shatter, and with him the last remaining units will go as well. The 2 hags that did manage to summon those 2 units of ethereal. Oh, I've never seen their death animations before. Oh, that is so neat. Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. Wow, okay. I swear I've never seen the Hag Witch's animations before. The sort of ethereal spider forest spirit that they grow on their back and takes their corpse into the ground below. That's really cool. Great job to that animation from the devs, gotta appreciate that. Anyway, we're going to run down every single unit that we can. We certainly took heavy damage here, but man, was it worth it, and a great fight for Crocronid, who's frankly been getting lots of great fights over the course of the campaign. Ooh, there we go. Definitely a close call that time around, and we did manage to hunt everything down and destroy it. That Feral Rage ability completely screwed us over, as due to his low HP, Crocronid immediately started moving towards the enemy, which meant that we couldn't do the thing where we backed off and continued to focus down enemies with our faster moving missile infantry, and had to take a lot more hits than we otherwise would have. Still, definitely worth it. And defeated the Golden Knight as well. Our food's back to max. We got a free war banner out of it, which actually is really great for the Skaven. It's good on Doom Wheels, it's good on the Master Assassins, and probably any of the Eshin units, really, because of the buffs to weapon and range. Lovely. As to whether we put that, I mean, we might give it to Crocronid and then give the Banner of Eternal Flame to, for example, you for now. Increase your damage a little while we wait for it to be put on the Fire Army. Anyway, a lovely fight. We are going to, well, I guess we have no choice here, and, well, frankly, this isn't all that worth it anyway, so we'll loot and occupy rather than raise. I do wish that the raise didn't take a full turn away from the army, but nonetheless. Yeah, loot and occupy. At tier 1. Alright, what do we have here? Thanquol, badly mutated. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, something's got to happen to him with all that warpstone snuff that he's constantly snorting. But he's probably so high all the time he can't tell anyway. Not that the enriched warp dust isn't also appropriate and isn't a good item. But yeah, it's a really good trait. The 20% extra HP points on Thanquol will make him a lot tankier when he's on that screaming bell. Have the dust inhaled, which, again, lorefully appropriate. Enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle. Courageous, badly mutated. There it is. War banner for Crocronid, united against us. The Great Orthodox. Oh, were we not at war with them already? Huh. Actually, oh. If I know my AI, they will bypass everything here and probably go for Kasserk. Meaning, Kasserk, you're going to need defenses. Alarmed tunnel here, and you know what, Svedora do it as well. Alright, well I guess that decides what we want to put in that particular territory. Let's go for the Overseer's Lookout and the Kilns here. 2 turns, eh? Well, hopefully that'll... hopefully that won't be too long. Anyway, these guys have... they didn't reach it. Haha, alright, well done. I guess we can't raise the place then. We can sack it if we wanted to, but that'll cripple the public order here and cause a rebellion at Nevkazi, which we are too far away from. Though admittedly... Valkia's going for Galrox, unsurprisingly, but it looks like we're okay. So, you, Skittis, go to Galrox. I wonder where their other army is. Alrighty, close defeat, and then you, Thanquol, with your bad mutation, are gonna go right here. Isn't it lovely? And now you should be able to... Can we auto-resolve this? No one will die, eh? We do know that there's a full stack running around belonging to these guys. We saw... Okay, Corson, he's still there. Actually, wait, I just want to double-check. No, okay, no Confederation has yet. We need to get them into some wars, probably, to get this happening. Anyway, you're gonna head to Shadurna. Yeah, potential rebellion at Nevkazi. Why? What the heck is wrong here? Okay, repair that. We could try to upgrade Nevkazi as well, but anyway, we'll attack this with Throt first. Much as I would have loved the money from sacking or raising it, can't do it right now, auto-resolve. Some damage, but at least we got some post-battle loot. And we'll just have to loot and occupy it, and that will definitely cause the... well, you know what? Then I guess we'll sack it and occupy it. Because the rebellion is happening either way, we can't avoid it. Sack. And then occupy. We killed in battle, plunderer, and come from sacking. Artifact hunter, hello, campaign movement range increase. And that was the last space you had for one of these guys. Alright, occupy. At tier 1. Again, not worth it to waste the food for this. Daughters of the Forest destroyed, isn't it lovely? Well, they were Daughters of the Hills, or Mountains, because they're in the mountains, and, well, I guess they're forested mountains, to be fair. So, never mind, ignore me, I'm an idiot. Let's see, you. Taskmaster platform. Oh, also, we did reach the engagement threshold, in case that wasn't clear. Well, we're reaching the hour, but not the... you know, hour adjacent as yet anyway. 400 likes, since this is the 5th episode. This is where we lower the engagement threshold the first time. 400 likes and 60 comments. The next episode will be an hour long, hour adjacent, longer episode, etc. as well. Efficient planning for you, Nevkazi. Let's immediately upgrade you. And the Rattling Warrens for the growth, at least temporarily, though eventually we'll delete that. Now, we will have to decide whether we want to proceed down to Deghoff and Kalinora. Probably worth a fair bit of sack value, though that will put us uncomfortably close to the Carrick Kadrin dwarves, who will most likely declare war on us as soon as is, well, possible. You. Keep annoying these guys and stealing tech from them. You have no choice in the matter. We've already set up the Undercity here, and you know what? I think we can invest in the propagation as well, so subterranean pit. Though the pit's causing us to lose food isn't so great. But at least we've used, before we started building the Undercities with their required maintenance, we've gotten most of the food techs, which means we're pretty okay in that regard. Alright, you. Down here, you're headed to Jarnagrund. So go steal from Chernozavtra. Down here. And if we can get like a dozen Undercities at just like the entirety of Jarnagrund, if this all becomes Undercities, wouldn't it be fantastic? I've never had a Skaven campaign where I got the chance to, you know, just spam Undercities, so I'm really excited to be able to do that for once. Anyway, you can just occupy it at tier 1. Oh, lovely. Brood Horror for Skittus? No. I kind of like Skittus on that Bone Breaker. Actually, speaking of Bone Breakers, or actually speaking of Rat Ogres, you shall be Bone Ripper. Oh, there we go. And do you have your Bone Breaker? No, not yet, but let's level you. Or we could wait until rank 10 to get max... Wait, is it Future World? No, it's Esteemed Combatant we want for the armor. Yeah, maybe save your points. You got some good stuff coming in. Alright, save it. Thankful, though. You are free to get... Well, we should have Musk of Fear. I am not 100% sure what exactly you're going to have in your army as yet, but what I do know is that you're going to have Storm Vermin at the very least. This also buffs Session Triads, Death Runners, and Plague Monks, and I did say I wanted him to be Generalist, so we could do some Storm Vermin with the Eshin Triads. Oh, we have one more turn, so next turn we'll need to summon a Lord and recruit a couple of Storm Vermin if we want to take advantage of the dominating scheme still. You... Go here. You're going to go join Thankful if you can ever get to him. It's going to take a while. We should also keep an eye on these guys. And because as soon as we get another Plague Scarred, Scab Scarred? Yeah, Scab Scarred. I mixed Plague Addled with Scab Scarred, then we should get that guy up and running as well. Chieftains, I do like the Devoted Chiefs as well, and I think we want one or two of these guys in the army with the Fire Army with the Clan Rats, so let's get another Devoted Chief. Might as well. That looks good to me. Next up, we want Mr. Krokronid to figure out what he's doing out here. First of all, don't collect income here at Janica, and I guess build the Rattling Warrens for the growth. Because it won't be able to effectively defend itself. Bolgasgrad, we'll upgrade you. 2.7k, a little bit on the expensive side, but, well, we'll need to be able to defend you, so we'll also go for the Alarmed Tunnel. And Yvedka, you will be able to delete your tunnels soon. You can proceed to this place, but that's a different territory than this one. I could trade Janica to these guys for peace. We really could. I'm gonna have to give it some thought. I don't know whether you'd be able to take Kislev, and you're kind of really exposed out here, aren't you? Kislev itself is down here. Maybe we could sack it and then not take it for now. And go past Belava. Alright, I'm gonna have to think about it. Let's do whatever else we need to do this turn. Oh, there isn't much, is there? Alright, let's take a look at buildings and Diplo and then do what we need to do. You're okay for a circle, or at the very least there's nothing that we can afford there. Vegka, you're fine-ish. Yes, this. We definitely want the exotic animal pen. We definitely want the gold smelter. We will want to upgrade the public order everywhere as well. Like so, Taskmaster's platform, upgrade the Taskmaster's platform, again, because it's public order and money, so that's fine. And then you can build the storage caves, which is a little bit of lost public order, but we need lots and lots of food. Alright, next up this place, Siniza, which ended up not rebelling as we built the public order buildings in time. Go for the Overseer's Lookout, the Tannery, and I guess the storage caves here, and you have the storage caves, so you are free to go for the breeding stock. For more Packmasters. And then here, well, okay, you're not building breeding stock, but we'll see. Carrick Vlag, you will head into efficient planning. Is there any place that's maxed out in public order? This place. 7th circle. We could switch you out of efficient planning then to increase income. Or increase food generation, depending on what we want to do. And costs 10 food to increase. You know what? I don't think you make enough income for that to be worth it. It probably will be worth it at first circle once we get there, but it isn't as yet. Alrighty. And the rest of this is fine. So let's go to Diplo. What do we have here? Any trade agreements? River Dolgan and Bearsenlang. Alright, we'll start with the Bearsenlang because they're less likely to want this. And we'll see if the River Dolgan are still inclined to trade. Yes, they are. Alright. Trade and give us money. For the opportunity. For the privilege. Bone Rattlers, no defensive alliance with you. Clan Creepus dying still and still wants to be our confederation, but I'm not willing to take a penalty of 8 public order to do this. And let's see. Ironback, Red Iron, Lamian Sisterhood. We'll do the non-aggression with Lamians. Where's Vlad? How close is that defensive alliance? Minus 13. Well, he is reasonably friendly. If only we could get him to declare war on another faction or two, then we could potentially at least get him to be our ally. Also, before I forget, Tech Thief. I ask for suggestions for the various Tech Thieves as well, so you're going to be a Rat Burglar. Like Cat Burglar, but Rat Burglar? Pretty great. Love it. Anyway, I guess we've no choice but to move Crocroni, don't we? Oh. Yeah, 2 turns. Maybe sack this and then move back to where you were? Huh. Actually, will it actually be worth it? Out of curiosity, if we take you out here, we're at 3.7k. If we go into enemy territory, we lose 1,000 gold per turn, and we'll end the turn in this territory after sacking this, meaning we actually don't get anything out of this effectively. Well, we make 300 gold and get a little bit of XP. Alright, fine, I guess. We will do it. Let's see if we can auto-resolve it, though, so we don't waste our time. Now, you have Gutterwise and Mutagenic Elixirs, which are the important ones. Let's get your Root Marcher, then. You don't need anything else in these. I imagine you will, however, need Sneaky and Trixie. Ratfu isn't super worth it, but, you know, let's get tougher than he seems as well. You guys. Still not going for distractions, but yes, bolstered attack, finally. We are liable to be actually attacked on the front lines here and there. You get extra powder now. There we go, more range. Doesn't really do anything with regards to the explosive damage, but the range will still be useful to these guys. Alright, anyway, you. Sack this now. And then move back to Janica after. You could also sack that if you really wanted to. Alright, sack, let's see what this does to our army. We'll need to go heal. And... actually, we're basically out of movement range, so we could raise it if we wanted to as well. Which gives us a little bit of growth juice. Maybe that'll be more worth it now. Alright, fine, raise it. And that puts us in enemy territory. We can channel, I guess, because we have no other options. A few more levels. You guys, then. Let's... I keep going for distractions and not... yeah, let's start going to We Are the Elite for more speed for the infantry. They're probably gonna need it. And then you can max out Sapper, which is also more speed. We're currently at 74 speed on the Gutter Runners. Good lord. We could probably get them to 100 speed. They're probably going to be able to be running as fast as those Brood Horrors. Kind of serendipitous. I hadn't originally planned on that with the Brood Horrors being in this army, but it looks like that was completely the right choice, because they're the one infantry unit that can run as fast as them. Fantastic. Well done, past Ruinous. Anyway, let's skip, including the Undercity upgrades, including the Outpost. Imminent Rebellion. Oh, right. Something of an issue, because I'm not sure Throt can reach there in time. It should be a Skaven rebellion in theory. Is there any good lord that we can put in here? Yeah, we got a Foresight guy with Plague. Maybe we'll get you on field then. We got another frontline route as well. Got some really decent ones. And these guys are good too. Melee defense +5 for all units. And then if we do build another, very Accession units army, like not just the range ones, this one could probably be good as well. I'll think about it. Anyway, we're gonna do Skittis. Oh, a second Skittis? Man, okay, well, I don't like that it's the same name, but we're gonna pop you in here. And then what you will like to do, or would like to do, wait, what do we have here? Okay, I'm just gonna hope the rebellion will be minor enough that it won't be a concern. Go for, I don't know, these guys on top of the walls, and then these guys as well. Alright. And, oh, wait, we can use the global recruitment to get more. And thanks for the suggestion and reminder about that one. Alright, and then next turn, hopefully we'll have enough money to recruit a couple of other things, i.e. Storm Vermin, from one of our other locations. Imminent Rebellion. Huh, I hope that was the Imminent Rebellion and there isn't another one. Somewhat concerned. Minus 23, why? Oh, it's because we just took Galrock Slayer. Oh, actually, speaking of Galrock Slayer, let's upgrade you immediately. Well, actually, no. It's more likely to die. Let's upgrade Crescent once it reaches tier 2. Yeah. Alright, end turn. You know, there's still a decent likelihood that we betray them, but I think maybe we can do the defensive alliance with Azag the Slaughterer. Simply because what this will allow us to do is use them to provide vision so that we know when the Kislevites are coming towards us, so fine. We'll do it. We need the vision, especially now that we're at war with all of the Kislevites. Alright, and let's see. Well, they're still fighting. Ooh, Sultan's got 2 armies there. These places won't be able to hold. Alright, well, we'll just hope that we can get another army back here in time, or build a new army. Alright, there's that rebellion. What do we have here? It's time to test how lawyer devoted your guy is. Ambush success chance or loyalty +1 at the loss of loyalty. You're at 9. You know what? I don't think it's worth it to get the ambush success chance, which, I mean, admittedly is useful, but do we care about this so much that we want to waste the loyalty right now? I think not. At least I don't care enough to do so. So let's just go for Russian Stalker, and we've already read this one. Alright, Rebellion in the Ropsals, Convoy arrived, a little bit of free cash, and then now we're researching monstrous plans. Actually, just to double check real quick here, what are we at in terms of tunnels? 125 rad force, waiting for 200, so we can hold off on that one. Though admittedly, not the local, well actually the local recruitment capacity isn't a bad one to pick. I guess it just depends on how critical the food capacity, food generation, and other things here are. I also don't dislike the filtration chambers. The upkeep in enemy territory isn't bad. Warp Marrow Infusion. You know what? Let's actually get Warp Marrow Infusion. At least for some turns, it'll be of use to us. Alright, looks like Valkia's headed down to Bloody Spires, which means we can go to Carrick Peak. And then, depending on whether we keep Valkia around or not, we could allow her to keep some of this territory. In fact, if she... Oh, I see that the enemy army is gone, meaning they're probably headed towards Valkia. Let's see if she manages to accomplish anything here. I'm a little bit concerned. Depends on where they go. What's the likelihood that they bypass these guys and then go here? Low? Concerning though. Let's see. Yeah, Rebellion. And we're gonna leave them where they are. Ooh, let's see. Yeah, we got the some of the fancier upgrades on you guys. Now we just gotta unlock the real fancy ones. Anyway, let's get a couple more of these guys. Get a couple more of these guys. Well, you're just here mostly to defend, and yeah, but if you're on the walls, we still need the range units. So yeah, do that. All right. Let's see what's next. Throt the Unclean. Ooh, we're only at +11 in terms of food. Settlement upkeep is certainly rising. High tier settlements cost more food. Yeah. Alright, Throt, I'm gonna risk not going up here and dealing with this right now. Huh. Oh, really? I was hoping that you had enough range to just move up here and like jump up here, like underway up here, but it looks like you can't. If you could take Carrick Peak, because we're not yet at war with these dwarfs and we can freely ignore them. Okay, these guys are moving around with piles of Skaven slaves, which admittedly is fine. So they're worth 5k for sacking this. Oh, actually, I almost forgot. Last turn of dominating scheme. You know what? You come back here. A moment. You are going to get summoned, Mr. Frontline Rat. You're going to pop into Frontline Rat's army. Frontline Rat will be delivering stuff to Thanquol anyway. Frontline Rat. Go pus stitch. So the Council Guard, I assume, are halberdiers, eh? You know what, let's do 2 sword and board guys to join with the halberdiers. Maybe Maybe we give Thankful a couple of Plague Monks. We can't do the Eshin Triads as yet. Admittedly, the Plague Monks are super fragile, but eventually we can upgrade them to Censer Bearers, and he can have elements from basically all the Skaven clans, which I don't dislike the idea of. He does lack a little bit of Anti-Large as well, so a couple of Eshin Triads, a couple of Plague Monks, and then maybe one more Poison Wind Globadier. Yeah. I don't think it's going to get better than that. Wait, that exactly 0 money? Huh, what are the odds of that? That's pretty neat. Anyway, this is what we're going with. And then you, Plague Priest, are going to be in this army, and then, I mean, you can join this army for now as well. We should also pay attention to what other Plague Priests we have. Sorcerers. Okay, they haven't been milled yet. We don't have new Packmasters yet, and I think we're out of Chieftain capacity. Yeah, we're going to have to start building capacities for them as well. Alright, anyway, Throt. Back to trying to figure out what we want to do with you. I wonder if you go here, if you'll be able to jump here. Do we risk it? Or do we just go for this? And the thing is, if we go for this, we'll want to raise it most likely. Oh wow, look at that. They've got Iron Drakes. I got some good stuff. Oh, that's tempting. Yeah, my reasoning is that we need a Lord to immediately occupy it so that Throt doesn't waste a turn, and that these guys don't take it. And thus, we're probably better off going here. Alright, Throt, I'm going to chance it. And just hope that this doesn't screw us over. If you go here, what's the closest? He's not going to be able to do it, is he? Guess we'll find out. Go right to the edge of this. And we'll see if we can't go to Carrick Peak. I hate to waste a turn with our Lord here, but anyway. You're going to go into encamp and generate food. You are waiting for your other units, and you can just sit here, in fact. We'll see how Valkia does at the Bloody Spires, and where Corson is, so you guys just sit pretty. You... What do we have here? Kamish, we got some decent defenders, and you're a little bit damaged. We could move back into our own territory for the turn and then come back. Frankly, these guys aren't a critical enemy right now anyway, so yeah. Go into Janica, heal here. I'm willing to bet these guys are going to be sending more armies towards us, so we can't get too far out of position at the time, so yeah, do that. And the bonus public order is fine as well. Alrighty. And try to pay attention to all this. I'm willing to bet that the Greenskin armies will die here, but we're going to have to see. Skaven Rebellion at Kazarla. What's the likelihood that they take it? I really hope that they do. Or it would be really, really helpful for once. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be really helpful. Rat Burglar. No, you have no money to burgle this turn. Well, that's a shame. Go down here. Try to burgle Yetrukovsk next. Unless there's another territory that's close by, but I don't see one, so I think this is going to be the only option. Alright, we'll go for Yetrukovsk. Diplomacy and then end turn. Ironback and Red Eye. Again, I don't care about the orcs because they have no trade, and we need trade. Clan Creepus, Bone Rattlers, this is fine. Gritus, still no stuff. Gregamugar camp, I'd love a clan. I'd love to peace out with you, but I want allies with the Chaos Dwarfs, and to do so, we need to be at war with their enemies, which just isn't happening as yet. What about you? Yeah, still no. For Laborers of Jar and Grimgor's Ard boys. And I don't care about the Overlords of Jarduk or the Slaves of the Black Dwarf at this current time. Dwarfs are still around. Let's see. Just taking a look. Yeah, the Kislevites were really strong. The Ice Court has been pushed out. They were really high up in strength rank, close to the Great Orthodoxy, who is still strength rank 5. Oh, they have a higher strength rank than we do. How dare you? Yeah. Now, this is that thing that's making the AI's factions near us more powerful. I like it. Giving us a little bit, making us put in a little bit more effort. Heralds of the Tempest, we're already trading with you and we have nothing else here, so yeah. Oh, and we gotta remember the Goromadni as well.
I've been looking.
If they declare war on us, we're just going to have to deal with it then. Alright, anyway, skip, end turn. Alright, what do we have here? Flayed Tail, characters or leadership effect -3 for 3 Power Stone versus income from all buildings +10 all regions faction wide, but Ooh, the reduction in loyalty chance. This can actually be really dangerous. I've had some bad luck with it before, because it doesn't, like, it's really annoying that it doesn't say what the chance is. Like, if it's 50%, then this is horrific. If it's, like, 10%, then, you know, it's fine. Anyway, I think if this was a better item, I would have taken the flayed tail, but this is not. Well, but anyway, let's give this a read. During a feast, as enemies are consumed and the paunches of their peers are measured with envious eyes, one of your warlords boasts rather too loudly of the scavenge hall he has discovered, within which sits a relic of great value. Let them fight over it. If the lesser thralls wish to fight over such petty trinkets, then let them. However, in reparation, and it is only expected that tribute to you is increased. Alright, this puts up our money a little bit. Hey, another bell polisher. And these guys are still building up. Good for them. We have a full 20 stack now, and Kazi will be up. Okay, let's also upgrade you. Or you. Oh, we don't have a lot of money, so. Okay. Ooh, lots of bell polishers, more breeders, more bell polishers. There's that technology research. A brutal business. Ooh. This is actually really good for our Skaven slaves because it's all armies of all factions get the base weapon damage. It doesn't matter for units that already deal high damage, but for units that are really low damage, like Skaven slaves and zombies, it's a significant potential power-up. So there is certainly a benefit out of it. You want to maybe build some clan rats for a couple of the other armies? You know what, our money isn't yet good enough to start on more stuff of that nature. Anyway, let's see. You. I wanted to get him a breeder. You, breeder, and then we have another free breeder. Just for the food generation, we got another one. Get us, you have one, right? What was the last lord that we built? I wish I remembered. The last lord that we built, I don't believe had a breeder, but I don't remember which one it was. Yo, wait. Yeah, the other Skittis. Yeah, that's why I clicked the first Skittis, and yeah. It's the frickin' same names confusing me. Hey, Valkia managed to take the Bloody Spires. Good for her. Throt. Hey, you can reach correct peak. Beautiful. Go here. You're gonna take this, and then we'll use, I guess, Skittis to occupy it once Throt sacks it. I like so. Thankful. You can slowly start positioning yourself closer here, so move southward a teensy bit.
So be it.
I assume that Valkia will proceed down to Coruscant. We actually do want Bone Stash for ourselves, though, so maybe we'll send Throt down there. What's the likelihood that Valkia can defeat all of this? Low? Or... there's potential. Anyway, let's see what we got. Okay, we are out of Rat Force, so let's go towards... Oh, wow. Alright, let's go for Monstrous Plans, and then we'll build a couple of these 50 Rat Force techs in order to reduce the time it takes to get Monstrous Abominations. We're really hopeful that that will give us the stuff that we need. Anyway, Throt, you have now got your super guy. Now, how long would it take to get to Jarna Grund? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns. Yeah. Alright, you can go to Jarna Grund. I was going to originally send you to Altdorf, but then you could do Jarna Grund as well. I don't see why not. Can you steal tech? No, you cannot. Alright. Build a super lab at Jarna Grund. Hopefully I'm not mistaken in doing so. Anyway, Kerkronid, you have healed up to full again. I wish we could see what's going on out here, but we cannot, and thus we may want to proceed to Kislev. It's probably very well defended. Erasing it will probably give us a fair bit of a cache. Anyway, let's go out here, go into ambush stance, move through these guys' territory. Let's see what we're working with. I don't see any of their stacks as yet. I see some... Great Orthodoxy stacks. Oh, right, they own these territories. That's interesting. Alrighty. Well, that's everybody except Skittis, who was not supposed to move, because these guys are just still sitting there, so that's fine. Trare, you're all fine. Please take Sarla before it upgrades to the next tier. The return, the units will heal up a little bit more. You had a chance, Skaven rebels. Why are you sabotaging us? Okay. Anyway, 4th circle. Collect income will give us 400 per turn. It'll start losing a little bit of money, though. Or, Nah, I need to keep the food generation here. It's fine. Carrick Vlag. 143. Alright, if we build just a little bit more in the way of Taskmaster's platforms, we should be able to deal with it. Go for the Warren to upgrade the gem mine. And then next turn you should be able to start collecting income. A Yoon of Kazi, you can start collecting income, but I think while the public order is still, you know, rising, I think it's not worth it. And then you are fine. Alright, Diplo check again. Yes, must be done every turn. Because there's some critical stuff that we want. I don't want the... Okay, I don't want any of this. Alright, skip, and turn. Oh, I forgot about the rat burglar. No, oh, well, screw it. Hey, ambush success. I was admittedly not really expecting that. Ooh, the Uragan cannons. I really wanted to see how those worked. Close... What? Really? These guys in an ambush would kill our brood core. Why are you lying, game? Alright, I'll just manually fight this really quick. Game is being ridiculously silly here. Like, there's silly, and then there's this. It's an ambush, okay. I don't know, game. I just don't know. In what world? Alright, come on now. Alright, let's just set you up real quick. Start deployment, and let us put the... gutter runners, poison shurikens here, and then the non-poison shurikens here, at the front of the line, effectively. Like so. The escape region is... Do they not have an escape region when it's an when it's a march stance ambush? Maybe they don't. Anyway, you two assassins get ready to head for the enemy lord. You will slow down the enemy lord. Alright, just in case we'll put these... You know what? Let's put these two guys here in case these guys go around. I'm not sure that they will. Then we'll put you two Night Runners here. We'll put this guy here. Well, you know what, a little bit closer. You poison guys in the center, like so, and then you guys here. Just in case the enemy tries to run, we'll pop the Ixchis Triads with these guys. Well, actually behind them, to distract them in case somebody needs to fight the things in the woods. We'll keep one of you here, and then you two here. We will turn off skirmish mode on all of you. And I forgot 2 units, didn't I? You two. Oh, right, fine. You can be at the front as well. Like so. Like so. Like so. Okay, don't want you guys interfering with each other. And I think that's everything. You're in the center, more or less? Yes, alright, so, start battle. Ballistics calibration, pop this off on the Streltsy. You can... Okay, that guy's already dead. Alright, you guys charge on into the melee. You guys charge on in as well. And... everybody else is looking good. Alright, the charge is there. Oh, wow, these guys actually managed to ignore us. Alright, countercharge them here. You can pop the Death Frenzy on all y'all. Like so, you guys can move around. Everybody else should be fine. Charge into the melee, charge into the melee. You guys kill this, and... a couple more seconds, and the battle should be ours. Or at the very least, the enemy should shatter in a few seconds. So let's just make sure that the enemy's main line is destroyed. How did the Warlock Engineer get down? He probably miscast. That makes sense. Anyway, you guys follow the things in the woods. Make sure that they're destroyed. You guys are done for. You guys are done for. We can turn off the slings auto-fire now because they were more likely to kill our own units. You guys can fire your shurikens at the things in the woods and not each other if you please, or if you will, if you would. And Streltsy get run down, and with that, the battle is ours. Alright, auto-resolve. What a silly... okay. But hey, free money, free XP, etc, etc, etc. Good job to Krokronid. And it makes sense that we get a ambush victory here for the, well, ambush most likely army. Alright, come on now. 46 losses, huh? Probably could have backed off a teensy bit more in order to prevent... Wait, how did you... Wait, you suffered 46 losses? How'd that happen? These guys were behind the enemy line. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have charged them at one of these units. 14, 8, 3, 2. Oh, it was friendly fire. Yeah, you know, that checks out. We killed just as many of our own units ourselves as the enemy did. Fair enough. Okay. Why did I wonder it was anything else? That's on me. Anyway, we'll take the money. Alright, assault expert, enemy killed in battle, that begins outpost construction, settlement besieged at last, technology researched for... yes. Good, growth vat batch available, but nowhere near to where we need to be. You, Skittis, kill this rebel army. We'll just auto-resolve it, because, you know, it's just a giant pile of Cossars, we'd be fine. Especially with our now more powerful Skaven slaves. Auto-resolve this. And take the money as much as there is, which will destroy the rebellion, and hopefully now the public order is fixed. Though you can stay here in your current state, because you're getting bonus public order in this particular location. There we go. Next, technology, rather than going for immediately the long time taking thing, that we will... I really want that flesh stitching protocol for the additional unit mass. I think it'll help quite a bit. Though it does mean not waiting the 200 turns to get the food capacity, which is also really nice. Plus 40 is a fairly significant amount. Oh, and then there is the augmented reflex conditioning. Newly captured settlements gain +2 pop surplus. Pretty solid as well. Oh, which leads to the Hellpit breeding efficient. Damn, alright, fine. Start going for monstrous abominations. If that's what you need. Alright, it looks like Corson and Valkia are moving towards each other. That's a question.
Agrees.
And are you at war with these guys as well? Ooh, if you could take Bone Stash, that would be fantastic. But anyway, Throt, I would like you to attack Carrick Peak, which has, garbage defenders. We'll move Skittis in to reinforce, just to leech the XP a little bit. He doesn't have his own army as yet, after all. And then you can occupy it after Mr. Throt raises it. Presumably for a decent amount of money. Auto-resolve. A little bit of damage to our 2 wolf rats, which we'll be transferring to another army later. Oh wow, this is kind of not worth it. Nonetheless, raise it. Free growth juice. Yeah, free crown of command. Not for you, but for one of the chieftains. Skittis, switch to this, and then colonize it for free. There's at least some likelihood that we actually trade this to Valkia, so don't use any money, or don't use any food on it right now. I think it would be a waste, so yeah, just colonize it. At tier 1. The rot will... Oh, I'm gonna suffer attrition here? Because of the Cornate corruption. Yes, I see. I wonder how much Bloody Spires would be.
And you will get your just rewards.
Not a lot, but there's nothing we could trade to her, huh? Maybe if we attack the Ironback, we could take this territory. No, but then she's not... Maybe we could cause a rebellion here. And there's that possibility.
Done.
Alright, Thankful, move towards Bloody Spires for now. If these guys attack you, you're gonna be in trouble. Like in a lot of trouble. Almost tempted to pop you into ambush stance instead, but I don't know if it'll work here. You know, just in camp, I don't trust it. You are saving your points, so you're fine. Okay, let's actually do this from the top. Crocronid. Alright, so there's this guy who you now can't chase after. But he can take Janica. Even with his... Well, it's only a single organ gun, maybe not. You are close to Kislev now, which would be worth a lot of cash. You know what? I don't care about this particular location. Let's besiege Kislev. Which has... oh my. Lots of Zargard, an Elemental Bear, Griffin Legion. If they attack us by themselves, we might be able to pull it off. If they attack us with other units, not so much. Alright, let's try this. If they sally out, if they come in with another army, we'll have to back off. If they come in with this army, I'm willing to chance it. Though, to increase our chances, what we can do is, it's been a long time coming, is start upgrading at least a couple more of the Night Runners into Gutter Runners. You two. Frankly, a couple of them were... well, at least one of them was going to get deleted because they need to become... They need to become... we need a Eshin Sorcerer here, unless we want to replace the Ixchis Triads with them, but anyway, for now. Go for... Gutter Runners upgrade. There you go. It doesn't really make sense to use the Night Runners because they have effectively no melee defense. And we've seen that even with all of the buffs, these guys really just like to run out of ammunition constantly. Anyway, you're going to Jarna Grund. Go to Jarna Grund. Frankly, you're also going to Jarna Grund, Rat Burglar. Or at least near it. I wish I knew where the settlement here is. It's not here, is it? Where? Okay, wait. Oh, we can't see through the fog, can we? There's one here, but I don't remember where it is. Is it right there? I think it might be right here. No, oh! I figured that because the roads were together here, it would be there. But it looks like it's here at Crater of the Hammer of Kashut. Alright, we'll go there. These guys hate us already, and that's fine. And since they're orcs, the Chaos Dwarfs should dislike them, which means we might get a little bit friendlier with them by annoying them constantly. I hope. Anyway, Pastich, you've got the stuff that you needed now. Let's move you into Gormadny Hold, and then keep traveling over it. How do we still have Chaos Corruption here? I guess it's just taking a while for it to go down. Alright, Skidus, you're fine. Keep providing public order. The other Skidus, okay, I gotta remember to rename you something. Frankly, there's a decent likelihood that you'll get deleted. Would you please attack it? It's going up to tier 2. The units are healing. You have a chance to take it. I swear. Why must you annoy me so? Anyway, let's just hope and pray to the Horned Rat. Just like real life. Anyway, the building. Anything useful here? Gates of Hell, I'd love to upgrade you, but I think there's more critical stuff to do. Manticore Hunting Grounds. 2.7k is a little bit steep. Let's do the Mushroom Tunnels. Pit Bottom we can ignore for now. Bolgasgrad. Yes to the Underdocks. I fear that we will still want to get the upgrades, at least at Bolgasgrad. Fortified entries, because there's a lot of enemies potentially nearby. And unsurprisingly, it looks like Azag lost against Castalton. Well, either way, build the Taskmaster's platform. I might come back to you, Eastern Noblesse. Let's see what other points we have. Yetchich is all the way back here, so you should be fine. You can go for the Overseer's Lookout, upgrade the Giant Fungi Caverns, and then build the Breeding Stock. Again, we need to build tier 3s everywhere to get additional Packmaster capacities. They're useful in every army. In this place, yes to the Overseer's Lookout, yes to the Arcane Generator, upgrade the food building, and then... it's a little bit expensive right now. Let's see what else we have. High Pass. I believe we wanted to upgrade the Nest Layer here because we need another Exotic Animal Tamer level and we need more public order. Oh, it's starting to look pretty okay. You know what? Start collecting income. It's not a lot, but we need every little bit now. And I would imagine we're safe to start doing so here as well. Again, it's not much, but every little bit. Alright. And the rest of that looks good. We have a little bit of cash remaining, but I think we'll keep it, or keep hold of it. Alrighty. Diplomacy. Any trades? No, we need more allies, and thus we need to send more armies out elsewhere so that we can make some more friends. What I really need to... Well, we obviously need to send somebody to Skaven Blight. It's just that they're extremely unlikely to confederate with us anytime soon, I think. They'll be too strong. What we really need to do is send a couple of rats down here and get Undercities slowly propagating all over this place where we're unlikely to be. And obviously one to Queek, one to... well, I guess you're kind of on the way there. You could travel tech-thievily through all the Orky territories as you head down to the rats. Yes, Rat Burglar, we're gonna give that job to you. Block Army. Good luck, little guy. Alrighty, let's end the turn then, yes? There wasn't anything I forgot, was there? I'm gonna hope not. Skip, and turn. Alrighty, they will indeed sally out of Kislev itself. Ooh, this is going to be a fight. Probably a difficult one. Not only do we have to deal with the Griffin Legion and all those Zargard and the Elemental Bear, the other big issue here, okay, we're going to maximize the food use. The other big issue here is going to be the fact that the enemy is sallying, therefore we don't know where they're deploying, as in we can't preemptively see, and thus we have to guess. Whether we can overcome this, let's find out. Alright, kill indeed. Here we go. Man, if Kirkronid can pull this one off, I gotta say, he's definitely a contender for getting a position in the community canon. Certainly been doing good so far. Anyway, this is how we're handling it. On this side of the map, or in the middle of the map, we got this big old rock, so we have deployed with it protecting our left flank all the way, or our right flank all the way on the enemy's left, and wherein we will hopefully focus down those Kossars, primarily the non-armored Kossars, because they're fairly fragile to the non-armor piercing damage that we have from our gutter runners, and hopefully they'll bring them down. The other reason is that the enemy had deployed most of their elites over on the right flank, and, well, not really a reason, because we couldn't see where they deployed, but it just worked out that way. But it does mean that we can focus down the Kossars rather than the Elemental Bear and the Griffin Legion. Now, the other element of this is, while we're up here, we have summoned a unit of clan rats in the enemy's way, so the enemy will be trying to get to us, but we summon them on top of the Streltsy and such, and so it's going to take a while for them to cut through them, as the weak in melee Streltsy will be, slowly axing their way through those clan rats. Drop a chain lightning, warp lightning rather, on the enemy. I wish it was a chain lightning. While it looks like this flank of the enemy has been pretty much destroyed, and we're going to start repositioning to take them on here. Here comes the Elemental Bear, still a fairly big distance from us. And we start focusing it down with all of our gutter runner, or all of our slingers essentially, dropping it down to 40% of its HP. Time to activate a clan rat summon via the menace below and the doppelganger from our units of Eshin Slinger, or our units of Eshin Triads, which are 2 extra units which we'll get in the enemy's way, bogging down the Griffin Legion and the Elemental Bear alike, while we bring said Elemental Bear down with sheer weight of fire. Alright, and the enemy is still blocked. We're also taking advantage of the hill position that we have. The enemy blobbed up nicely. We send in the Brood Horrors and our Assassins now to force the enemy to blob up further, which means the Slings will continue providing a lot of, or doing a lot of work, and on top of that, our Warp Lightnings will hit more enemy units. Of course, the enemy has a lot of Zargard here, which are not going to be taking a lot of damage at all from the Slingers, but the Shuriken are armor-piercing, and the Brood Horrors apply both damage and toxic venom to the enemy. Which is working out quite nicely here by the looks of it. Enemies certainly having a tough time making their way uphill, and with the Doppelganger units still helping out. And the not-so-doppelganger actual units of Eshin Triads, which are in here too, and helping to dish out the damage. The rest of our Shuriken units, now that they have run out of ammunition... Oh, the non-doppelganger is here, actually. The rest of our units are out of ammunition, the non-slinger variants, but that means they have activated their concealment bombs and taken the time to move around the enemy's flanks, at which point they will now charge in and start cutting down those Kossars. The damage isn't anything crazy on them, or the melee attack is fairly nice. Melee defense is low, but certainly enough to tear through some Kossars with a few losses, I'd wager. And I imagine the Weeping Blade application from the Eshin Triads will help, as will the Toxic Venom. And again, the other thing that we wanted here was the combination of Toxic Venom and regular Venom, which the Gutter Runners will apply. Poison, Overwhelm, Weeping Blade, and Toxic Venom from the Brood Horrors means a fair few fairly devastating debuffs. Yeah, we should probably put a chromatic armor in this army as well to further debuff the enemy. It would be nice. Anyway, with that, it looks like this army has failed. All their elites just having been obliterated. We can see the corpses of the Griffin Legion lying together with the Zargard as they were trying to make their way up this little hill. And with that, the garrison of Kislev is destroyed, and by the looks of it, nobody's getting out of this one. Perfect. We'll be able to probably raise it for ourselves and then recolonize it as needed. Well done once again, Crocronid. You know, if we do end up making him a legendary cannon lord, I'm not a big fan of the name Crocronid 10 Scratch, so I might take suggestions for a rename of him. You know, I kind of like 10 Scratch. It does feel Skavenly, but I'm open to other suggestions, and usually with double names like that. So if it's like, I don't know, 9 Fingers McRatface, but you know, Skavenly suggestions. And could combine it from 2 different comments, and we'll have to think about what his story might be from a perspective of him being a Moulder-affiliated assassin that fights in Kislev. I do have some ideas, but anyway, close victory for now. A lovely fight, a great work from the rats. Alright, there we go. Absolutely beautiful work by Crocronid here, whose Eshin army tore that Kislev garrison to shreds. Neither the Griffin Legion nor all of those Zargard or the Elemental Bear were able to do anything about it, thanks to the sneaky way we were able to use the terrain there. Fantastic. And damage-wise, we got 10, 13, and 17k on the various brood horrors. Not much work out of the assassins, but they're here to buff up the slingers and the shuriken chuckers. And, well, they did very well at the top, being 20,000 damage. Very, very nice. On top of that, we will... we actually can get 2,000 more gold out of sacking it, but then we'd have to deal with the... You know what, I think I'd rather raise it and then reoccupy it at a higher tier without having to deal with the conquest penalties. So just raise it. It's not like we're damaged here. A free growth juice and a little bit of food. I do wish that this was more growth juice, considering we need 1,000 for it to turn over. It's really not much. But nonetheless, raise it. Alright, let's see what we have here. Ooh, the option to get another chromatic armor, which is really nice. We could copy the symbols again to give us a little bit of research, although at this point it isn't all that much research, admittedly. We also don't care that much about this guy's loyalty. He's just a delivery man at this time. I think I'd rather have the glittering scales. It's a little bit iffy, but it's not so iffy that we shouldn't do it, I think. Skaven armies can really use this thing, so yeah, confiscate it. And we're not reading it because we've already read that one. Alright, growth vat batch available. You, Pustich. Let's give you some garbage items just to tide you over for now. You can have the relic sword and the dragon helm. That did not bump you up to where you need to go. I was hoping to at least get you up to 6. Does giving you ancillaries do anything? Have a man-thing slave. Apparently not, or maybe not now. Bell polisher? Ah, there we go. Yes, it does. 6 and 6 should be good enough for now. Hopefully the losses per turn doesn't screw you over. Anyway, you can go... Actually, would it be faster to jump down here? I don't think so. It's not at the current time. Alright, go here. Go past all the... Oh, you're gonna suffer attrition? Well, that's tremendously rude. Alright, fine. Go to Monolith of Beorg then, and then we'll jump down here and then keep going. Yeah. Alright. It works for me. How are we doing down here? And River Dolgan. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, also did... Nope, they lost. It was a full stack. A full stack lost to... Okay, I think this is just the AI cheating. These guys were already hurt. You're telling me a full stack with at least some clan rats and some Skaven slaves a loss to 3 units of regular orc boys and 2 night goblin archers? Not the case. I think the AI might be programmed for the rebellions not to succeed, just generally speaking, which is kind of obnoxious, but what can you do? Anyway, we'll occupy Kislev, but for now, Krakornen's doing a good job, so let's keep him doing it. Slanesh giggle. You can have, I think, Sneaky and Trixie before we start making you a fighter. Granted, most of the time he's in melee rather than range. Wait, range rather than melee, the opposite of what I said. Alright, you can get Overseer. I think maybe we go for... Oh, cooldown for spells. Maybe go down for Warpstone rockets. Make this guy actually to show damage himself. We could get him Fencing Ruin and Carrick's Call as well. Frankly, we are actually using Warp Lightning a fair bit. Let's also do Musk of Fear, and then we'll... Oh, you could also use the increased mobility. I forgot that those guys give them, because we don't have any of these Warlock Engineers on the map, or at least not much. Anyway, judging by the balance of power, the game won't let us auto-resolve this, so we'll probably have to fight it, which, let's wait on that a little bit. Throt. Now... I was gonna have you go to Bone Stash, but since that's not possible, this is still friendly territory. Yes, so we'll heal here. It looks like these guys have all defeated... Oh, it looks like Clan whatever is besieging us. You know what? Thankful, can you march dance here? No. You can jump down here, stay in... I would say friendly territory, but I don't think we can do that. Alright, fine, wait. Yeah, you know what, stay here in Bone Stash. Hopefully these guys occupy it rather than sacking it. It is decently well defended. Skittus, you will proceed down to join Thankful. You guys are still working together until soon. Then Throt, you're going to proceed down to Degov. I did say we needed more armies to help with Kislev, and I mean, look, this one army is surrounded here, so you're going to move through these guys' territories. And eventually you'll probably have to fight Karakadrin, which is fine because it's a great defeat trait from Ungrim Iron Fist. Anyway, go here. Alright, away you go. Who else needs to move? That was you. Trer and Skittus 2. Rat Boogaloo is still stuck. Rat Burglar, go steal. Please don't fail. Because you're out of the... Yes, alright, well done, little guy. And then Pustin the Plague Ridden, still moving on down to Jarnagrun Town to get that special lab set up. Alright. And it looks like we're about to fight with Crocronade, but let's just make sure that we build buildings and do Diplo first. Yeah, alright, keep annoying these guys as best you can. Go for... Okay, wow, this guy can move far. Good for him. What do we have here? Red Eye, no. That will piss off the Chaos Dwarfs. Clan Grittus, Bone Rattlers, Gloomfang wants to ally, Creepus are just down to Horno. Much as I love the place, we're not going to do that. These guys want to peace out, but we don't want to do that either. Kislev is down to 3 territories. Wow. This one little Leshen stack is completely broken Kislev. Go for Tsarina Katrin. It was going to run, and we didn't manage to get an ambush. Hey. Didn't manage to get an ambush. Hey, but then with the garrison, it'll probably make this fight a little bit more worth fighting. I guess we go directly for the garrison. Kislev, you don't have a building, so we'll go here, and that should actually destroy both of these armies. And that's lovely. We thus wouldn't be able to raise it. Well, actually, no, we could probably still raise it. Go raise it. Go. Alrighty, valiant defeat. Now it's a full stack and more worth fighting. We have full food-ish, so I think we'll get 4 of the menaces below. This is one of our armies that can't summon on its own because it doesn't have a summoner hero, and thus we need to keep using menaces below when we fight for this one. So go with them. Go. Alright, but for which clan there, Master Assassin? Is it for Russian or is it for Moulder? You've been hired by Moulder, and your Ashen Assassins are doing good work for them, admittedly. Although they wouldn't be doing near as good work if they didn't have those brood horrors to fall back upon in a pinch. Like in this particular pinch, as a unit of winged lancers moves towards us, and the brood horrors move to intercept, providing much needed mass and preventing them from charging through the assassins and tearing them to shreds reasonably quickly. I'd wager this is probably the last hurrah of the Ice Court, the last battle that we get out of Serena Catherine, so, well, she's got one chance to take vengeance upon Krokronid for the fall of Kislev. Anyway, it looks like the enemy has another unit of winged lancers to their name, even after the fall of the first one, but with the brood horrors there and interfering with them, plus the work of the shuriken throwers and the assassin heroes and lord. It looks like those winged lancers don't have a prayer. Huh. I think, wait, almost all the battles in this particular episode, well, all but 2, but what, 4 battles were for this particular army? Yeah, definitely a legendary community canon lord kind of performance from him so far. And he's certainly faced off against some really tough armies. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, we are in the process of destroying the first army. The difficulty will be, of course, with Serena Catherine and the reinforcements, but she won't get here in time, especially as we purposely deployed over on the left flank as far away from the reinforcements as possible. They're going to have to take their time moving towards us, while the last of the enemy armored Kossars, Zargard, winged lancers, regular Kossars, whatever they have here, and get torn to shreds. And lots of work for the brood horrors in this particular battle. Other battles we've had them move into the fight a little bit later than this one, but they've already racked up around 10,000 damage each, which is pretty darn solid, considering it's the opening of the battle. Serena Catherine will waste her time casting a hailstorm, or it might have been the Frost Maiden here, on a unit of summoned clan rats, but we hardly care about that. Our shurikens are, well, 4 of them are nearly out of ammunition, 2 of them are still okay. These ones were forced into the melee, which explains why they still had a few. Now, the Kossovite dervishes and Kossovite archers move towards us, but they're no threat whatsoever. And if they get any closer, they'll just get torn to shreds. There we go, but since they're not a threat, we're actually going to retarget Serena Catherine with all of our units of slingers. Ballistics calibration is up, and all the slingers will target her and her Frost Dragon. She'll get one last spell off, but get brought down in a hail of slings. This admittedly allowed the enemy to close the distance with a bunch of units, but with the loss of Serena Catherine, that's the biggest threat that the enemy has taken out. Even with the enemy units that have closed, it's most definitely worth it. Frost Maiden on Warbear is here, a couple of those units of other things in the woods, but they're pretty fragile, and even though they are in the fight, we should be able to take them apart fairly quickly. The enemy does also have the reinforcing artillery moving in, the Uragan guns, which I never got the chance to use myself. Oh, they look pretty neat. They look really neat. I like them. Well, one day I'm sure I'll play Kislev again, and I'm sure we'll be joyfully using these. For now, though, it looks like Serena Catherine's last hurrah is by and large a failure. Doom rockets still coming down upon the enemy. It looks like the fast movers that managed to reach us with the time that Serena Catherine bought with her life have failed, and only slower moving infantry units in the form of the Kislevite warriors and such remain. They head towards us, but will similarly drop in a hail of slinger fire, though not so much shuriken fire anymore, as 4 out of 6 are out of ammo. Alright, we got 2 Streltsy with Bardiche moving in still, and it looks like the Uragan guns have arrived and are starting to... Ooh, can we see them fire at least once? Or will they not be able to? We did summon a unit of clan rats on top of them, and it looks like the hill is not working for the enemy. It's protecting us. These Streltsy take a few pot shots at us, but they're probably having a pretty tough time with it. Warp Lightning comes down in the midst of their formation, and the slings keep tearing them to shreds, and in fact, it looks like both of them are in by our blood. The bounce power has shifted to 80% in our favor. Our 3 assassins, together with one of the brood horrors, have closed the distance with Ulrika Magdova, who will get brought down rather quickly as well. And now only the enemy last Boyar and the 3 Uragan cannons remain. One of the Uragan cannons has been surrounded and destroyed by these summoned clan rats. Nothing they could do about it. The other 2, one is being currently torn to shreds by another summoned unit and those units of brood horrors. The other unit will get at least 1 volley off before it gets blown apart. There we go, and with that, the army is destroyed, the Boyar will shatter, and the last hurrah of the Ice Court ends in failure to the slings and shuriken of Krokronid 10 Scratch, rename pending. Anyway, heroic victory and a fantastic episode dedicated to the Skaven way and the sneaky fighting and to Krokronid. Alrighty, very, very nice once again. A solid amount of food, certainly replacing the food lost from using the menace below there. A solid amount of cash as well. Well done to this army in general. And we are still fairly damaged, but not so damaged I think that we shouldn't raise the place, so raise it we will. Yeah. We'll raise it and recolonize. And you got yourself a scribe as well, very nice. And you can go back to channeling. Now we can certainly use the magics. Eventually, you will have a Eshin sorcerer someday, I swear. Anyway, you guys can get sneaky, both of you. You do occasionally. Well, frankly, it's we got to be wary of friendly fire, so yeah, you definitely need it. And you are not. You don't need to be wary of friendly fire, but what you do want is maxed out warp lightning and then maxed out increased mobility as well. Ooh. And these guys are going to be rank 7 soon. That'll be very nice. Alrighty, well, that's done. Let's do building, and let's go next turn once again. Let's see what we are looking at here. Manticore Hunting Grounds and Giant Fungi Caverns. 2.7k, eh? Alright, let's see what else we have, because it's a little bit on the steeper side. Bolgaskrad. 3.6k. I really don't want to lose this territory now that we've invested in the Overseer's Lookout on the port, though, so maybe it is worth it. We can make this go down to 1 turn if we go into expansionist planning, so I think we'll do that next turn then. 7th Circle, yes, we'll upgrade you eventually, but just calm down. Everybody relax. Xarla, still annoyed. Yeah, once again, decent likelihood that we just betray poor Azag. Maybe get his defeat trait on Throt as well. I think it's physical resistance, which if nothing else is quite nice. Giant Fungi Caverns for you. High Pass. Carrick Vlag, you were waiting, so until you're upgraded, you're fine. And the Ropsouls. I'm going to say first build the Arcane Generator. +3 food per turn. Okay, looks like we're going to need more of those Giant Fungi Caverns. Alright, fine. Upgrade Plesk first, and we'll go for Jadurna afterwards, and definitely the Overseer's Lookout. Help it, can't collect money as yet. Janica, I don't know if we're keeping it. Correct Peak, you're kind of in the same position, but still free to upgrade in case we trade it. And even if we don't, it should be upgraded. I can't believe this guy's... How much does this cost again? Bloody Spires? 12.8. You know what's funny about that? If we had a ruined territory like this, to trade it to the AI, it actually costs the player money. But they probably wouldn't do it. Well, they wouldn't even do it for 10k. They probably wouldn't do it for 20, even though it's a garbage settlement that Chaos in particular can't even use. But oh well, what can you do? Anyway, Nevkazi. You know what, keep the Nest Nursery for now. We will replace it. You know what, you can build a Nest Nursery as well, at least until we're ready to replace it with a construction cavern, which will be eventually, but for now it's additional growth. Zaniza, you can have a construction cavern, but I think it's more critical to wait and possibly upgrade some stuff. 7th Circle. Admittedly, the Overseer's Lookout here needs to be replaced because, well, it needs to be replaced. I suppose, okay, wait. If we start building the Eshin building here, hidden layer, we will soon be able to replace the Eshin building here instead, replace it with an Overseer's Lookout, and thus allowing us to build an Arcane Generator and thus taking advantage of the depths of Hell Pit. Yes. Alright, so do this. Switch out of efficient planning for one turn and go into expansionist planning. Maybe we can upgrade. Oh, actually, not yet. It's more critical that we upgrade first circle than the other place because it's going up to tier 5. So yeah, you're going to go into expansionist planning for a turn or two. And that'll be fine. Yeah, because I figure this place will generate a fairly decent bit of money with a arcane generator. And frankly, every single settlement needs an arcane generator because it has an adjacency bonus, which you always want to stack. Building upgrade available, undercity available, outpost available, and I believe we're ending yet another turn, so end turn. There we go, I was waiting for that to happen. Frankly, I'm surprised that it didn't happen significantly earlier. Huh, looks like the Borden Coven, that's these guys' name, right? Yes, is about to destroy the territory of the Gloomfang Greenskins, which is probably not the worst thing in the world. Faction destroyed, Bloody Sword, there we go. Technology researched, monstrous abominations. Alright, let's see if that little piece of advice proves true and whether we can... minus 51 now, okay, we need these guys to get into a massive war with Karakadrin, basically. What was I saying? In order to confederate them, that is. Things. I was saying things, I'm sure. Alright, Bloody Spires. Just to double check. No. Damn it. There's no easy way to get this. Though, if a rebellion happens here, if we can force it to rebel via massive amounts of Skaven corruption, this is a place that, if they don't upgrade, will actually get a benefit from. So, start with the Rattling Warrens, build stuff that provides Skaven corruption, which is pretty much every single building. Alright, so build buildings. Build buildings. Then, Thanquol and Skittus. How are we gonna use you here? Frankly, we need more units on the front line. We need to deal with the dwarfs here. I guess that means you're going to... You know what? Let's send you to deal with the dwarfs. I'm pretty sure that Throt can handle these particular dwarfs, and Dehov himself with decent ease. So... Alright, just go here. Now you're healed enough, at least for our purposes right now. And Skittus and Thanquol, you will soon be separated into your own armies, so we should be good. Oh, you can't jump up here? Alright, fine, then travel through Valkyria's territory. Oh, for the love of... Okay. Alright, then go like this. And you gotta meet up with Mr. Pustich, because he's got your stuff. Still suffering attrition. Damn you, Cornate Corruption. Urge to betray Valkyria Rising. Okay, fine, go into Krasund. At least it's bonus pub control. Oh yeah, and I guess we wanted to go up here to work our way through Goramadni Tribe. I expect it'll have been 10 turns rather soon. Now, tunnels. We're at 185, so we wait one more turn, and then we can grab Flesh Lab expansion mandate into explosive mutations, or help at breeding efficiency, or there's a lot of good stuff. I'll pick something. Let's get Ruthless Plans. It only takes one turn. Might as well. Otherwise it's a waste. And, ooh, let's move the heroes. Rat Burglar. Keep burgling. Wonder if we should send you down here. Right, go past the crater of the Hammer of Kashut and then Steel Tech here. Like so. You, Pustin, can continue to proceed towards Jarnagrund. More turns? 22 turns until we get another one of you guys. Alright. And we got one more turn until Under Empire expanded, so yeah, there will be an extra turn where we can... Yeah, that's fine. Ooh, lots more orcs here as well. Good. We'll make enemies of most of them, and the ones that we make friends with, again, there's a high likelihood that we betray, especially because of this and the fact that it annoys me. And frankly, they're in a bad position. We're kind of using them as a buffer state, which is working out nicely for us as well. Anyway, I think that's everybody except Kronid. Who... Now we have raised Gerslev. Only Karonka remains, so you can go take Karnoka, rather, sorry. We can take that and then slowly but surely colonize all of these territories. For free. Pyrrhic victory. Really? This? Okay, we're gonna... Is this a minor settlement? No, that's got the Palisade Garrison. Alright, we'll fight this manually. Let's do a little building first. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's just regular fight it manually. It should be quick. What's our food at? The battle presumably will give us food back, so let's do 4. Alright. I figured this will be a minor enough battle that we don't need to go for the cinematic. I'm just going to speed through it, and the reason that I decided not to build buildings first was because if we raise it or sack it, we should at least get some money. Oh, I'm mostly used to fighting this particular map with the Bretonnians. This is a Bretonnian map. But yeah, I have seen the Kislevite version of it as well. They just replaced Bretonnian buildings with Kislev buildings. And then this is the minor settlement version. In the major settlement version, this portion of the map, you can attack the enemy there as well. Though that's on the Bretonnian side, I don't remember about the Kislev side. Anyway, start deployment. Let us... Okay, so... The shuriken throwers are a little bit damaged. Be a little bit more careful with them. You guys go here, you guys go here, and you guys can stay in the center but reinforce as needed. You 3 go here. You 3 go here, and then swap... no, actually, you're fine. You're gonna go... Provide them with extra range, and then you 3... in fact, with the Lord, maybe we'll have you all start moving into the enemy settlement a little bit earlier this time. So let's put you into groups. You're going to be group 3. You're going to be standing here in case we need you to send melee units. In fact, probably a good position to put you here and then pop the doppelganger in there. And the rest of you are probably fine. Let's turn off skirmish mode and let's start. You guys moving forward. All right, I see a barricade trap there. You can go for your doppelgang and see how the enemy reacts to that, but otherwise back off. You guys can move forward. Teen C-bit, you guys can move forward. Teen C-bit as well. And you guys go, I don't know, right here. It doesn't really matter your positioning. Oh, you're gonna move in here. And, okay, you guys are moving forward. You're good. You guys stay back. You know what? Actually, you guys stay here. I would like you to go into concealment. You guys go like this. Alright, and then assassins, you can go into melee, and then brute horrors follow suit, at least for now. Doppelgangers, go here. You follow. You guys go here. You guys go here. You get ready, speed it up to max, and as soon as these guys stop moving, activate the... Okay, maybe move slightly here. Yes. Alright, there we go. Ballistics calibration. Ballistics are calibrated. Now, brute horrors, back off. You're getting attacked. Oh no, I shouldn't have sped it up because the brute horrors are taking damage. Let's make sure that the assassins can kill the enemy lord, however, while you guys continue to back off. Hey, don't get into each other's way, you little idiots. Alright, go out here and then go heal. Let's stop these guys from firing a little bit with a menace below. Doppelganger unit, you can start proceeding forward. You move in, and you're running out of targets, so I'm gonna guess you're gonna need... Okay, garbage pathing. Alright, you're gonna go here, and you're gonna go here. Somewhere. Alright, assassins, you have nearly killed off the enemy lord, which is great, but now you can back off. You know what, let's send the... these guys in. A unit has been wiped out. Okay, well, I don't know what unit that might have been. Oh, it was the doppelganger unit. Yeah, okay, you know what, that makes sense. Alright, forward, slingers. 2 more slingers. Actually, your position is fine, and your position is fine. You can launch a doom rocket at these guys, maybe, while we continue to back off. Now that the enemy lord is dead, you're not needed to assassinate him anymore. You guys can move forward as needed as well. Alright, slingering is going well. You guys can start moving up here, and let's speed it back up to max. You can move up now. Alright, and slow it back down for at least a little bit. You slingers need to reposition yourselves here. Let's put our assassin lords here. You guys can keep making use of that regen. You guys can run at the enemy. Let's summon a menace below here behind this enemy unit just to stop it from firing for a little bit, and then you guys can reposition yourselves. If the pathing was for 5 seconds, not garbage. Here, you guys proceed. You guys reposition yourselves where those guys just were, and then put the put the lord there. We have another doppelgang available, meaning you can head forward. You guys can reposition yourselves as well. They're too busy dealing with the menaces below. It looks like our brood horrors are nearly ready to go as well. You guys can go into concealment bombs so that you're not visible as you get around the enemy. Do they have any cavalry in this particular army? I don't remember. Does it matter? Not really. Alright, move. And you can, well, I was going to say use the crackle bombs, but there wasn't any real need. Let's move you here. I'd like to drop a chain lightning on enemies. Ah, there's the cavalry. Alright, turn. Attack those Kosovo dervishes. Before going after the armored Kossars, a couple volleys will take them out. Okay, then you can move in here. Another menace below on top of these guys. Alright, these guys have been cleared. Go for the barricade, and then you guys back off so that you don't take further damage. Let's get that doppelganger moving forward. And you know what? Actually, you guys have suffered sufficient damage, so let's back you off. Alright, just a little bit more and the enemy should be down. Let's move you... I don't know. Guys here. Are we close enough to drop that? Let's overcast it right here. And then go for the ballista. Ow, you miscast out. These guys are miscasting constantly. Oh well. Speed it back up. And you guys are out. And just gotta wait out by our blood. There we go. No problem. Alright. I don't remember what the auto-resolve said, but whatever it wasn't 0 losses. And it definitely should have been. No problem at all, and hey, more rank 7s. This army is getting stronger and stronger. In theory, we could make it even stronger by changing all of these guys to poison rather than, you know, 2 poison and 4 regular non-poison, but I figured we want variety and we don't want to use all one unit type here. Which is why. But I think every single unit in this army has become experienced to become a gutter runner. Alright, come on now. And there we go. You will raise the place for 1238, which isn't much, but it'll be free colonization. Hey, okay, so I really appreciate the tip. It looks like the Helpit attendant thing was correct, and we now have as many of the bonus research things. Alright. Well, that will be very nice, as it's still going to be a while before we have significant numbers of the researchers. Tech thieves. Thief rats. You know what I mean. Anyway, first circle, we did switch you to expansionist planning, so we will spend the ridiculous 10,000 gold to upgrade you. And frankly, we should probably keep an expansion. Am I going to remember? I'm gonna hope I'm gonna remember. Go back to expansionist planning and then switch out afterwards. Oh, you know what? Let's upgrade the assassins. Well, actually, we can't afford it. But we wanted to replace this thing here. So go for the Taskmaster's platform. We will need to upgrade you as well, but we'll need to actually get 10k to do so. So maybe don't build anything else for this particular turn. Alright, Diplo, and then end the turn again. Although we are very much running and or near out of time. Gragamugar camp. You're basically dead. How much money would you offer us? 3.2k. Now, the Chaos Dwarfs and such won't like us piecing out with you, but at 3.2k, which we need, I think I'm happy with it. And if you could just... -6. I'll just hope that they don't declare war on us. Can we get you to fight anybody? Like... Isn't that a gnome? No dice. Alright, you know what? Actually, while we're there, Chaos Dwarfs, where are we? Okay, I went past them. Yeah, they all don't like the past treaties with Gragamugar camp. Was that worth the 6 gold? I'm not sure. You know what? You know what we need to do? Undercity. Something here. This. No. Well, actually, yes, this. Proxy warfare, but it's not what I want. This is what we want. Black market. Ratkin Mafia will give us the income from trade and diplomatic relations with all factions. Ratkin Mafia. Alright, so let's take a look at our Undercity. The heck? Okay, let's take a look at her undercities. Ratkin Mafia is one of these, right? Lairs, Subterranean Hideout, Underway Nexus, Underway Hub, no. Vermintide, Rat King. Deeper Tunnels, Kill Perches, Murder Holes, Raiding Camp, Scavenger Horde, Scavenging Raiders, Warp Token Mint, Warp Token Stash, Thieves Hidey Holes, Ratkin Mafia, there it is. Alright, so it's this one. Income gained from local settlements income. Which I guess we would be best off doing in Castle Drakenhof. The main issue is that our discoverability is currently at... We'd have to get rid of the subterranean pit here, which admittedly we've replaced here and here anyway. Alright, fine. Get rid of the subterranean pit. Income generated 150, eh? Yeah, but at the cost of discoverability. Probably not worth it. Alright, so delete this. We will build the Ratkin Mafia here in order to unlock it. Discoverability plus 80, so we'll need to counteract that as well. But it's fine. It'll give us a decent amount of money. I would have loved to not spend the money, but clearly we need this right now. Otherwise, we won't be able to have access to Chaos Dwarf tech, which we definitely want. Anyway, I believe that's an end turn. So skip, end turn. Alrighty, a free Shroud of Dripping Death for entering a military alliance. If you're wondering which one, I might have cut it out over the end turn. I decided to go for the military alliance with the Bone Rattlers. We're actually going to betray them most likely eventually, but for now, since they're acting as a buffer state, it's working for our purposes. Anyway, burn 20 allegiance with allied faction. I guess we could wait until that's up and running. Anything else interesting? Construct an outpost. No. Technology, or at least not right now. Now that we've got the monstrous abominations, well, other than the fact that we need to pick one of these, which is going to be... Oh man, now I have to make the decision. I do like the hero action success chance as well, because it helps our tech thieves, but there's only one at the time. 2 population surplus for newly captured settlements versus... So many darn good things here. Once again, really loving the changes to the tech tree. They're fantastic. Absolute props to SFO for this one. And that recovery, it's going to be real nice as well, and the extra food. The casualty or punishment and income healing modifier is nice, but it's effectively a military tech that we don't really need right now. You know, I'm going to say go for augmented conditioning reflex for the... augmented reflex conditioning for the population surplus, and then the attrition. The attrition has been an annoyance that we've had to deal with a fair few times at this point. Anyway, with that we're good. You are going to now spend a few turns. You can reach this all the way from here, can you? That's interesting. I wonder if we can get another lord to help you out with this and do it a little bit faster. Hopefully. You're going to go for Karnoka and colonize it. At Tier 1, this is a minor settlement, so we are not going to waste food on it, but we probably will at Kislev. We will also immediately construct a Rattling Warren. Actually, if we build them at Tier 2, we could use the reductions to immediately build up the structures. We got another Grace here with Foresight. That's a decent option. Didn't we have another... We did not. I'm just looking at what we have in terms of good ones. Good units. Shuriken Mayhem, again, super useful. I'm gonna say get another one of these guys with Foresight. I wish they weren't so horrifically expensive, but, well, just do it for now. Anyway, with that, folks, I think we're out of time, and I think I'm going to call the episode here. It's a new turn, and there's lots of stuff to do. So, ow! Don't sit there and public orderize the place. I wanted it to rebel. Damn you, Valkia. If we get an Undercity there, though, we could deal with that without killing her. And again, if we want to betray her, we will, but we'll deal with it later. Anyway, ending it here. Next time, since we're done with this place, at least until we get into it with Carrick, we're gonna go after the clan... clan whatever. I just say an idea, Clan Durasgrund. What we'll probably also do is we'll raise Deghov, and then we'll colonize it at a higher tier, build military buildings, trade it to Clan Grittus, and then force Clan Grittus to declare war on a bunch of strong factions with that trade, and hopefully what that'll do is enable us to confederate them and get this territory to be ours. Well, I don't know whether it'll work out, but that's the plan. I hope I remember it by next time around. Other than that, Mr. Krokronid has pretty much by himself completely destroyed the ice court. We're gonna... Ow, I didn't realize... Ow! I should have gone for Gurslev. I didn't realize this jerkface was down here. Well, hopefully we can still confed him, but anyway. Yeah, we're going to have you go this way towards the Tsaryovshchina, and we might even stop on by to kill the Borden Coven. Especially with these guys only having one territory. Take out this territory and then push to Erengrad, essentially. Yeah. And then, of course, Thanquol and Skittis will be picking up a few new units, primarily for Thanquol, admittedly, and then moving through these territories towards all of the dwarfs here, which are still around, minus the... Keepers of Bliss at Grung and Drekaz. Still, going pretty good. Stay tuned for more rats. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold if you're into the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.